local like MPL ID. They can compete it low.
That was a bit of a curveball. I wasn't expecting Ranger Amas of all people. And not only that, speaking in English to get those lines out.
Yeah, he's been talking about like new blood, new ambitions for
Alright,
the
this one's
upcoming
good.
players.
This
Todak is a lot of rising stars.
Tadi error,
Sakai
right?
himself used to be a rising star. Right now, he's already cemented himself as one of the best junglers in the world.
This is a great
Boys,
continuation to what I want to say about the international side, right? How exactly Vamos
Siapa nih yang dapat tiket terakhir nih, Rio, nih?
seeders, which is either Todak or Select or Red Giants will fare in the international scenes, especially against RRQ and TLID. I mean, we're looking at the international scenes, but today they need to book their ticket right now. We're looking at the team comparisons here. Churros walked me through this because Todak has played 37 games in total compared to SRG's 27.
Well, this really tells me that Todak is all about team fights, all about the early game. They want to do as much damage as possible, take down a lot of the objectives, and Todak is one of those teams that like to play backdoor. They like to play a little bit more sneaky, Chiku guys. So look out for that one.
Ada juga mainnya
But
bagus ya,
SRG has
3-0
been
juga.
an overwhelming 63.1%.
Hebat,
And this
dia.
is because SRG is very methodical, very clinical in how to execute their drafts.
Interesting. Do you agree with that, Husky? Because coming into M6, we are expecting the cream of the crop. There's no more grace.
Hello,
period
Razir. Welcome,
anymore.
welcome.
No mercy given to any of these teams.
Yeah,
I think the first blood rate is a good point to bring up because you also have to draw parallels from the regular season when SRG was still dominating up till Suyo became a thing. They were constantly putting pressure in the early game, right? Something that has been missing since yesterday.
Salam dari Malaysia. Hello, Malaysia. Welcome, Malaysia.
SRG. So
Hope
if
you
they
enjoy the
can
stream.
translate
Let's
the
go.
blood rate we saw into this lower bracket finals, I think they can take control of Todak.
Okay, all right. Now, Churros, I'm going to throw it back to you. We got 20 seconds for this. What are some of your expectations? You mentioned just now, not only the roamers, the junglers even.
To be honest though, Zayed with the Harley pick yesterday, I mean, does that not say enough?
I feel like
I
that.
want to see like a lot of upcoming jungle picks. Maybe Amon will come back in the meta. Maybe we'll see Freya coming in. We don't know what to expect from Todak. It comes
SRG taking blue side and Todak taking the red side. Immediate bans, Lo Yi, Fulvius, Yves, and Todak's response, Chip, Fanny, and our last pick, probably Jushin?
Juicing.
I want to juice it. Please,
Yeah.
please, just ban out the juice it.
If they
right?
don't give it up, Stormy's definitely going to pick it up because there is not a lot of mid lane options left. We're talking backstage. Loi, Yves, and Juicin are the main power picks for mid side.
I want to scratch your brain a little bit because now it's either Jushin or Suyo. Which do you think is a bigger problem?
Well, to be honest though, Sakai's has been crazy today with the Suyo. Yesterday was a little bit like he was warming up. It feels like he's not in the right stride, but this time around, and they're going to be banning out the nades, so opening up both of them.
Wow.
Now the cards are on the table. SRG might be picking up the Suyo first. A lot of early game potential.
I really wanted to pick a point about the fact that Todak don't really focus so much
Saipul
on
siapa ya,
picking a Suyo for their side. I thought that they would be like, yeah, you know what?
Seharusnya
we don't really
RSG
play Suyo so much, let's just ban it.
Buat gue
Based
siapapun
on
yang turun ke bawah
statistics, they have
kemarin,
always been,
buat Om Wawa tuh ya,
making
pasti
Suyo
kalah
is
gitu.
open for- especially
Karena
for Sakai.
SRG pasti
Once
ada
Sakai is
pembahasan,
able to
pasti
control
ada
the
evaluasi
jungle,
juga.
The momentum and the tempo, creating that early game pressure and then starting that fight up from that first turtle onwards.
But here's the thing. I think that Todak is one of the few unique teams that may have been experimenting with potential counters against Suyo.
Yeah, we've seen Suyo actually get manhandled way better than Jushin. I think the number speaks for itself, right? What, 12 games and 10 victories for Jushin? If that doesn't tell you how important this hero is, I don't know what to tell you. But contrary to that, right, Zaz has completely fallen out of favor.
Wow.
No one cares about Zaz anymore.
Yeah.
0%.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah,
likes
it's
to
just
steal
to,
you.
it's just to paper. for
Sehat-sehat, sehat
Like
dong.
you throw Zask in there. Once you get
Ya, ini
stunned
lower,
up,
lower.
you're basically dead because just
If
extreme-
100%.
So they're taking up this juice.
With a Jushin, you need someone to
Tolong,
prolong the
jangan
fight. It's all
lebay-lebay
about
dikit ya.
making the enemy, forcing them to stay in that bubble
Gua lupa
so you
lagi
can
naik ke
constantly
atas.
proc your lantern.
It really tells me that they really want to stray away from the juicing, or perhaps juicing is just not exactly the first thing that is in their mind.
I harness it.
Yeah, so the Valentina will be picked up here. I thought that Todak would prioritize the Irithel just because like you want to run it down kind of composition. We've seen that before in the Leomord and the High Loss pick. So throwing an Irithel in there, there's like 3 horses running at you, maybe like 2 horses and maybe like a
One
like a
big
cat thing.
Yeah, one cheat Jaguar, right?
Well, yeah.
We're running at you, but Valentina is a very, very good option right here, just because like you want to be able to steal the gotcha ulti for the escape mechanism. You could always also take like Jusin's ultimate as well, just as a secondary measure. But then it gives a lot of options for Todak to pick
Glue,
up.
gara-gara lihat tadi
Right
tuh.
now, SRG has to be careful.
Todaknya tadi
What
pakai glue.
ultimates they pick up that is crucial for their team fights goes in the hands of Valentina. But
SRG lah ini
come to
SRG.
think of it, what they're left is with possibly a roam and possibly a marksman. So I don't think that Valentina will be especially useful.
There will be value in it. There
Todak
are some
M6.
decent alternates.
Sambil gue benerin
Maybe
ini
not,
ya.
you know, obviously the Jushin
Benerin
is probably not gonna be the best
thumbnail saya
other
ya.
than trying to kind of
Halo
move
Tim
out
X.
of the way. Skyguarding the Avatar is also a great option. But Todak, interestingly enough, banning out the glue this time round kind of gives me an indication that they might want to look for something a little bit more engage heavy, the Drizzlers of this world, maybe even throwing high loss into that area too.
Good to go with a CC as well. It worked out well yesterday. I think they picked
that's
it up as
fair.
well, yeah. Because CC works very well against Jusin. You're tanky enough to tank the initial burst damage that comes out when Jusin pulls you back. Gato Alpha comes in. You'll be able to tank enough for the rest of the team to come into position. So I think that works out well. SRG looks to ban out the Lunox right now. I don't think they will be banning out the Harith at all because it's not been doing so well. But it sounds like a pretty good, decent idea right here.
It feels like they're pushing towards it, right? Again, one of the big topics that we were talking about was the Loi, the Yevon, as well as the Jushin. One of these three is probably going to get let through. But then the second problem is Chiku having an independent lane. And Lunox was
Todak kayaknya susah deh kalau mau
That and
rematch.
also we've seen how
Kalau
Vamos
gua
deals
ngeliatnya
with it,
susah.
right? You want me to go into a Harith Irithel matchup, I take the Irithel from you, and now you're in a bit of a pickle, right? I outrange you, I have a lot of damage, I'm hard to catch. And I think in this case, if Todak does take the Irithel, I'm looking something like a Beatrix from SRG.
Hey, Tigro is still open.
That too.
Yeah, Tigro is
Apalagi ya,
super
harus
pro
go,
pick.
boy.
You could combo with the Gato as well as the Alpha, and Jusin basically just puts Lantern right there, pulls everyone back.
In fact, I thought that the Tigro might actually be a pretty good pick for the side of Todak.
Yeah.
So far they have got great mobility, right? Especially with the Glorious Pathway coming from high loss. Boom, we've seen that before. But in the meantime, the Irithel pick is also a pretty good thing. They are literally a composition that can dive and jump really fast.
Chow di ban.
show the next follow-up
Oh,
ban from the
banget
side of
itu.
SRG in response to the Arlet here. So I guess Todak doesn't want
Ini suara gue emang error. Halo tes.
Find these big counter engages to slow down this fight. Now, with their very first pick
Test.
on the second
Test.
now,
This
with
is
their
an
very
important
first
one.
pick,
Test.
they either reveal their flex pick in high loss or they show their gold laner.
And also two important heroes from Todak has been banned out, right? Todak banning out their own Arlet and also Yanlor's Cho. Those were two pivotal picks for the opening match. Yanlor's Cho. Those were two pivotal picks for the opening match. Yanlor's Cho, like Edith, but yeah, Beatrice going to the Todak. I do like this choice, right? Irithel has
ESL nge-cash semua apa tim Indo doang? Tergantung ESL pilihnya yang mana ya. Karena ESL yang menentukan kita bakal nge-cash yang
I
mana.
can agree with that, and I think that SRG at this point of time, they've got strong engaged, but they don't have a late game insurance policy just yet. Which one would you prefer, Churros?
Matilda gak laku
Go
di
back
MPL
into the
emang.
Harith once more now that both Natan and Lunox are out of the question.
Comfort is definitely on the tables, but I mean, in Singapore, we like to pick up the carries for some reason. It scales really well into the late game. It holds itself well against the Beatrix. I don't know if you want to pick that up. The Khalid is picked up first.
Finally.
What about the Claude? I mean, he has to play two
The
Claude
Claude,
games.
yeah, the
He
Claude,
did
Claude
play
works
quite a
so
bit.
well, especially towards that back line, but then he has to be really careful about the Beatrix because
Iqbal baru saja memberikan 10.000 buat beli Debesto Om Hujan gini.
Terima kasih Iqbal.
Very
Waduh.
good calls here as we start to finish off this
The
draft.
Besto gak tuh? Gak sampai. Woi, 10.000 mana dapat The Besto gile? Emang ada 10.000?
We kind of roughly know that
Bukan 14.000
maybe
ya satu
Khalid is
ayam
going
ya?
to be the dedicated EXP laner. There isn't much of an answer now that Fulvius is out of the question.
Thank you
Maybe some
Iqbal.
insight
The
from
Besto
MPL SG.
hujan-hujan.
Ruby,
Kalau TLD lawan
because
Famos
of
siapa yang
the
unggul?
stretch
Wah,
to
kalau
go
gue
for
sih
a
selalu
Hilda right
TLID.
now.
TLID tuh mekaniknya di
I'm still thinking the Tigro though.
Yeah,
still
no,
like
but the Tigro
Tigro.
is difficult to execute just because of Jusin. You don't want to pick like
That's true.
two different tanks in the front lines just because Jusin will have a much
Digaduhin
easier
ceban
time as well.
Om The Besto.
You can check the bush. I think Brock
Gak dapat
can
ST
play
manis.
Jusin.
Dapat lah
That
kalau
works
The
in
Besto
MPL
ST manis
SG and
dapat.
other regions as well. Use the Brock to counterplay
Oh.
the Jusin.
Wait, what?
But it will be the Frank.
Franco.
It's a lockdown the Claude. I think that's
Agak
that's
aneh
the
sih
main,
picknya Todak.
like, sort of like
Beda banget
their
Todak yang
MO,
sekarang
right?
dan kemarin.
I
Let's see lah.
see. Interesting composition we're seeing from Todak this side.
Kalau
Really
aku
cool
milih draft
engage
SRG
heavy
game
tools.
1.
Even from SRG counter engage, it feels like SRG.
Gue ngerasa kayak Todak itu kebawa permainan yang tadi gitu loh. Kayak
heroes.
mereka
Break
pakai
it down for me for both
mereka
sides.
pakai Hylos.
SRG and as
Mereka
well
mau
as
langsung dengan
Todak. Which do you
Hylos.
prefer and what are we expecting to see in the game?
Well, statistics-wise, I think Chusin does have a pretty high win rate so far. Very easy to execute trap the alpha as well, so you got the true damage coming in. Easier to layer in your ultimates as well. You got Avatar of Guardian into the Sandstorm, into the Spirit of Alpha, and then Chusin just throws everyone else off with the pepper
Kalau
spray.
Arkil
and then you
harus
got
ketemuin dulu lah.
back. Easier to execute. I
Buset,
think
pada nanya, emang gue
SRG is gonna
cenayang.
win, but then, you know, you never know what to expect when it's Todak, man.
Iqbal baru saja memberikan 10.000. Nih om kurangnya bisa plus ST solo.
Nah ini baru dapat the besto. Cuman kalau pesan online itu minimal 40.000 tuh baru bisa ada diskon. Gimana ya? Gak dapat nih kita the bestonya nih. The besto dekat sini jauh, jalan kaki nih. Lower final. Kalah gugur, menang ke M6. Let's go.
I really do actually kind of like what Todak has got for themselves. In the meantime, middle lane, they wanted to go for something really fast. Yellow did manage to land the hook precisely.
Bener kan the best? Beneran Cierin. The best kan 16.000 tuh kalau nggak salah ya. Hampir sama kayak Rocky Roaster gak sih? 14.000 gitu loh.
Because again, he was going to be the biggest proprietor in changing this game. Nobody knows when he's going
Jadi
to
minim
land
40.000 gitu, ya elah.
to make everything kind of pop off for Todak side.
Cara gameplay yang Malaysia ya, gue bilang Malaysia juga kuat. Gameplaynya mereka hampir sama seperti kita, kayak adaptasi dari gameplay Indonesia. Gimana bang adaptasi dengan gameplay Indonesia gitu? Nah, jadi adaptasinya dia itu teamfight, hampir sama dengan kita. Bahkan CC-nya bisa dibilang kayak lebih besar gak sih? Kalau ngeliat game di match 1 tadi ya, kalau match 2 yang SRG lawan Reds, ya udahlah ya, ya uts gitu.
But at least we know that he will want to be extra bursty. That might be enough for Stormy.
Did they not want to go for that? That seemed like a very viable dive angle there. I feel like Zayed probably could have blade surge inwards, maybe like force out a flicker out of
Save Om Wawa, jangan biarkan jadi kuyang di atas.
Kind of keep up to pace so that the guys eventually is going to be down a level.
Gimana weekend kalian hari ini? Baik-baik aja semuanya. Beliau akan menggila kalau di depan Todak. Wow. Gue ngeliatnya, nah ini kita-kita begini nih yang seru banget nih. Sam di belakang coy. Tekis. Digesek semua sama Aladin coy. Digesek Aladin guys. Masih loh, masih berantem gitu ya. Terima kasih Iqbal.
Even come down to the frame data, right? When it comes to stealing away the Raging Sandstorm. Oh, okay, this is the point in time when I gotta have to release my Raging Sandstorm. CC immunity, yay, give it to me.
Stressful. 3-3 so far with minor league going over to Todak for now. That could easily change as you could see the goal deficit hopping back and forth. In terms of the gold lane,
terus gimana makannya kalau bosan? Kerja untuk menghasilkan uang untuk membeli barang. Uang buat beli, makan. Kalau bosan kerja gimana cara mau hidup bang?
Todak's way of initiation is either through the hooks or perhaps Momo just running it down. So honestly, it's either Selangor gets caught surprise or they can literally see the push coming in.
Now they do have access to the bloody hunt for Yanlord. There's an extra 2 of control. The hook does not
hari ini
land.
habis sudah belanja rumah tangga bulanan. Nih lihat tim fightnya cuy. Kumpul banget ya tim fightnya. Gimana?
They were stacking up all these crowd controls onto Yanlord to ensure that he has got absolutely no.
Ini mode tubruk nih, fast man show gila. Cipok-cipokan di depan gitu.
You can see that he got no way to play around all of these stacking skills at all.
But it was such a decisive fight from Todak. They knew that Beatrix had first move, got into the mid lane, and they initiated the fight before Beatrix even showed herself. So Todak knew that they've got this fight in the bag as long as Chico guys does not whiff the ult.
How long can you keep the lead and extend it, right? Because they are quite far deep in enemy territory. No Momo drops the ultimate, he's gonna get away. Cram still wants to engage in. His teammate will take some time to follow up. Zai is in a bush, they will check that. The end, Todak disengaged.
Well, look bot side though, they could be setting up for a dive.
dangerous place to be in. Stolen Spear of Alpha, so Innocent.
Terus Cikunya lebih bebas ya. Mereka main combo nih, Franco sama Beatrix.
That Todak has generated another 1.6k gold lead.
Kalau draft gue suka SRG. Mereka bisa nabrak. Masa Todak sengaja turun buat kalian SRG emang iya. Weh, Stormy! Sky Pierce.
For a Sky Piercer. So that means the rest of the team is going to be looking to chunk out, and Stormy is going to be the crux of the comp.
Definitely, I do love to see the Sky Piercer onto him as well, but one thing for sure is that how are they going to revert this?
Stolen Spear of Alpha, counter engage from Guys, flicker from Yanlord. Here comes the AOG to the back, Dimes Boy
lebih bagus kan?
Yanlord will be taken out. Snipe from the
Kalau
Renner.
teamfight-nya mereka tuh teamfight yang rapat juga.
Chico Guys in the fight. Yums on top of him as the Scorers Pathway
Cikunya
comes right through.
kejaga,
Side
men,
fight the
ternyata.
assassination on the Innocent, and now Todak.
Wah,
They got
Cikunya
the Giants
kejaga,
boxed
coy.
in. Guys wants to run away, turns it around.
Wah, Ciku jangan mati, Ciku. Hari-hari Ciku ditampol untuk ke shutdown.
This is not looking
Infamous
good.
sudah di grand
This
final.
is not looking good at all as SRG, their angles are too linear and Todak is pulling attention away from
Nggak, itu
each
Chusin,
one of the
memang
members.
Chusin modern kayak gitu.
SRG
Belinya
need to
Skype.
hook up to the Kala at this point. They need to become a hive mind.
And with Stormy getting hooked, that's going to be flickered down for another 2 minutes.
It's going to be a little bit rough considering the fact that the turtle is currently available for the picking. One good thing for the side of Todak at least is the fact that all three of them did use their flicker. So at least a flicker bloody hunt is not exactly something that Selangor Giants would be expecting. But at least
Wah, cakep banget Raging Sandstorm kena 3 orang.
Refusing to yield, but a stolen AOG.
Sekedar cakep guys, ternyata guys, kalah teamfight.
Here comes the blazing duet.
Zayat
BMI for
mati.
Zayat takes him out. Good control.
Cakep berarti.
Execution, and the Prince finds a triple kill.
big out games. That's what we want to see from SRG, man.
This game is just pumping out the
Karena gue
clips.
nonton
It's just
MPL
pumping
M1
out
udah
the
kayak
TikTok
beneran
clips. Let me tell you that the
setiap
YouTube
menitnya
shorts,
dari
wherever
menit
you watch your
1.
short
Kalian
form
pernah nonton
media,
film yang
I
judulnya
think that
Speed?
right now, as
Kalian
much
coba
as
cari,
Selangor
kalian
Red
nonton
Giants,
film yang
yes, they
judulnya
tunnel vision
Speed.
in the previous fight,
Dari
that was
awal,
the statement.
mulainya
We're
movie
not
sampai
messing around
ending,
here. We're gonna go
itu
toe-to-toe
baku
for as
hantam
long
terus.
as it takes.
You got no
Coba kalian
purify, you
nonton.
got
The
no
Red kan
flicker.
sering ngomongnya
Once you
tuh.
set it up for
Kalau
Cram,
Speed itu
then
udah lah.
you pretty much
Ngomongnya
know
paling
that
cuma
your
semenit, itu pun
entire
kayak di
team will go
tengah-tengah ya,
into
bukan di
shambles
awal-awal.
once the AOG comes in.
Full
Although I will
action
say,
package
in
namanya.
terms of the macro aspect,
Absolute
it feels like Todak and
cinema.
Selangor Red Giants, they're not looking to play around the map too much. They're
Cinema.
training pretty equally. And as much as I would like to believe that we caught up to the rest of the world, we definitely have
Gue suka tuh itemnya Franco guys, lihat.
very
First item langsung
signature
winter ya.
play style.
Jadi
We
belakangnya
like
nggak
to brawl.
mungkin bisa
We like
di-cancel.
Cambodia where we brawl all the time, but
Nggak
God,
bakal
when we
bisa
do,
di-cancel
it's
dengan-
no holds barred.
dengan
It's
siapapun
bare
juga.
knuckles.
Selama dia pakai winter, selama
very
dia baru winter.
foreign thing to me. I've mentioned this umpteens of times.
Tabrak
that
aja lah.
Singapore plays it in a way whereby we just look at
Info aja
the
guys,
macro
Zayat
game. I go for
satu level
4-1
di atas
split, that
musuh.
kind of stuff. But you guys just go all the way.
We like to dance a little. We like to dance a little. We like to show that we're better in many different aspects. But now Zayed going for the split push on the opposite side of the map with Cram keeping eyes. And right now, Zayed isn't strong enough to one-shot Cram. Oh wait, even getting the hold on.
Tusin di awal juga bisa. Jadi
This movement
tugasnya
from the
dia
river,
itu
are they
sebenarnya
out
adalah
of
untuk
it?
menghabisi musuh yang
Doesn't
selamat.
seem like they will be able to catch up.
Dia itu
Doesn't seem like
memang
SRG
bukan main
also
damager ya,
understood
tapi
Todak
lebih ke bersih-bersih
and they
juga.
have
Dan
like
Sky
this very
Pierce itu
specific
ada
time
movement
frame
speed
where
ekstra.
If you do want to make a miracle or rather make a play, that's the only time frame that they have got.
And it feels like both teams have their prize on the line and ego on their sleeves, right? It's all about the brawl, all about a show of strength. Here comes the
Oh ini
Yanlord
bagus
flicker.
nih, bagus nih
Right
fightnya.
behind. That's the Winter Truncheon, but Innocent
Oke, nggak jadi guys.
Chibu guys picked up in the
Belakangnya
back line,
meninggal,
get
gila.
the Stormy, but the
Zayat.
fight basically
Wah,
sliced in
SRG
half.
sih bener-bener
Zayat
ya.
gets out, but what about
Sorry,
the rest
Todak
of the
sih
team?
bener-bener ya.
Cram is on him. Time Boy has the Jushin out, can still use it
Itu
to get away.
Aladdinnya sakit
Innocent
banget,
forced it
men.
out. Cram thinks for a chase. Here comes the flicker rating
bisa
Sandstorm.
diangkat.
Momo is the target. They want to go underneath the turret, but Momo will stay alive.
Ooh, T2 saves lives. This is the first time I'm seeing a
I like that
T2
team,
actually not being used for just economy at this point. What a stressful game this is
Tidak
going.
tepat tadi
And honestly,
teamfight. Teamfight
SRG
yang
and as well as Todak are making these
tidak
team fights look like
menguntungkan
origami
sama sekali itu.
artwork. They are folding upon each other, trading back front line for back line, and you can see the way that they pivot into each other.
The fight is just split up at this point in time, right? AOGs after AOGs, to the point that SRG as well as Todak, they gotta have to work with their own system.
An attempted steal on the Lord. Sakai secures it. The Prince does his job well under pressure. They will lose out Diet and Momo.
Gila si Kram ngebayang time.
Target has been found. Chico guys praise it down. Kram falls. But SRG walks away with the lead.
That's a 2-for-1 in favor of SRG on top of having the first
Di bawah
ward of
menit
this game.
10.
We haven't
Totalnya
seen the gold
30
lead
kill.
actually break
Guys,
into
kalau ada yang
the
bilang
2000s.
kita itu server
Now,
bro.
the first time SRG
Kayaknya
finds
statementnya
1,000
salah
gold
deh.
that could easily be swung with a single jungle rotation.
Absolutely love the previous fight when it comes down to Cram. Literally zonal advantage, just buying so much time to ensure that the rest of SRG, they can just focus on the two-person that overextended.
How much damage can SRG do? That's going to be the question, right? With Cram going
Tapi
down,
sebenarnya
you don't
metodenya
really have a way to
Mobile
take
Legends
up
kan
much space and find it engaged. So
kayak begini gak
Todak
sih?
ended
Baku
up
hantam
that
aja
he
gitu.
didn't lose too much, but he
Oh,
did
saya
lose the
kira
purple
dapat
buff that
level.
Zayat wants.
Yeah, this is still the
Udah
very
mulai
first
ngejar
part
ya.
of the game. It's not too strong, but at the same time, you can see that Todak are not
Hancur juga ya.
breaking formation at all. Nobody is opting to play on the opposite side of the map to deal with the wave. And finally, now that Zayat sees, okay, tier 2 bot side is done, they've shown 4 people, it's safe for me to head up top.
Honestly, both of these two teams are playing like an absolute unit, right? And of course, they have got a very clear idea as to who's going to be the main priority. At least for the side of Chiku guys, right? He's been on the back lines of Todak pretty nice.
Ayo dong Todak dong.
Throughout all of these engagements, only
Tunjukkan
died 3
performa kamu yang
Cram has
kemarin
immortality,
gitu
so,
loh.
I mean, Zayat
Mana semua kartu
doesn't
Asia
have
udah
the damage for the
dibuka
one shot.
dari
Senggar
siapa
keeps
tuh?
him up. 90
Harley
seconds
jadi
until the next
jungle.
floor, and gentlemen, like you guys
Leomord
mentioned,
jadi
right, we haven't really
jungle.
seen
Itu
big
udah kebuka
macro
semua tuh
plays.
tadi tuh.
It has been about all the brawls. Is it time for SRG to start looking into the map?
I would like to believe so, but I think the only person who's capable, well, actually 2 people who are capable of doing it is Innocent as well as Cram. I did see Innocent actually finish off his Trinity build. Yeah, he's already got it. He's looking for that winds of nature, and the same can be said about Todak, right? As much as Chiku guys wants to finish off whatever, I mean, it could be like, oh, hold on.
Wow, they actually
Weh,
won Innocent.
weh.
Lovely bloody hunt flicker into the winter crown. Todak
Oh,
needed
kena
that target.
Ada rating nggak?
Finding more though. Dime Senpoi comes in AOG.
Udah pakai
That one's
retry
not
dia.
gonna connect, so SRG loses 2.
Ini mereka harus bisa dapat objektif, karena rugi banget. Ya rugi dong Todak. Cuma dapat kill gak ada
At
objektif.
least they will be able to take the control of the river back into their hands. It would be a significant advantage, especially since the Lord is coming out in 40 seconds.
Sebenarnya bagusnya kalau ada Hellos juga guys ya. Kadang-kadang musuh itu kayak offset ya. Kalian buka Gloris pathway, mereka nggak bisa kabur lagi. Buka dong, Gloris di belakang nih.
Oh, wait. Do they want to go for a little bit more? Feels like Momo overextending a little bit, but he's not getting punished just yet.
I want to quickly talk about the Winter Crown into Immortality for Yanlor, right? We saw the application of the Winter Crown. You can't cancel the Bloody Hunt, but it's so defensive from the side of Yanlor.
I agree. Do they need anti-heal now that I think about it? I know that Zyme Senpai already had the glowing wand, already pretty much done. Momo probably is going to go for a Dom Ice. It makes sense if he does so. So I guess that's why Yanlord is allowed to kind of build whatever he wants. And more importantly,
Masih ada Imo gak tuh? Perang Wind of Nature. Mati tuh, sorry, mati. Tiup. Nice. Sama itu mati juga sih, gak ada Wind of Nature. Oh, udah kacau. Kacau. Terlalu dalam tadi.
Yep, can't beat these auto attacks, especially with max stacks on that Art of Thievery. He is one tough cookie, and Innocent, he is extremely bold. But that being said, although Todak were able to kind of split up these fights, they need to drag it out a little bit more. They found Stormy, which is already great, but Innocent cannot be dealt with a single person. I think that even for Chiku guys, his positioning, as much as he wants that traditional front to back, he is not finding it in this game, and I think this is where we're seeing Quad really start to shine with that BMI.
Now, eventually, now with the Lord gonna be coming in real soon, at least with
Ayo Yan,
before,
tarik
the high
Yan.
ground advantage for Todak is definitely there, and they do have a very strong ways of clearing up these lanes. As for SRG, just clear up the top lane tier 2, and things are definitely going to be fine.
All right, now talk to me about this, right? Previously, I mentioned it before. Hey, you know, Valentina is going to go for the Starlium Scythe this time around because Edith is around, so it makes sense. No Edith this time. Is there an explanation for it?
All I can just tell is the fact that there is Yums, and Yums is pretty darn annoying on that part, right? You're just gonna have to shred people as much as possible, especially since if Chiku guys can't really do anything much, at least Zyme will be able to do the front to back approach what they want.
Oh, that's a hook on Yalo. They want to go in. Winter Crown negates most of the crowd control.
Chiku.
The fight in, but still take care of Chiku guys. And an inhibitor. The hook from Yellow for the second one doesn't land. Suyo taken down. Some guys re-engages. SRG wants the front low, and they will get it.
Wah, gawat Todak.
Oh my goodness, what a punch to the throat here. 14 minutes until this game absolutely imploded on itself, and SRG takes game number 1 against Todak. Churros, you gotta come back in here. You saw that game, what are your thoughts about it?
Gawat.
I'm gonna hold it for a moment. I know you were giving up. He was saying racial slurs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Gawat guys, Todak guys.
Yeah.
him out right off the bat.
Di SRG udah belajar dari kalahnya kemarin. Ini siapa nih?
How dare you?
Cost half an hour away, by the way.
We're in Malaysia.
Thank God Zipper is around to make sure that he doesn't go too far with his
I'm
statements.
supposed to help him. Wait, you guys, wait, hold on. I'm supposed to help him.
I'm sending him and you together.
Warnya terlalu ini,
Okay,
terlalu
I'm not
rapat
with
tadi.
him anymore.
Remember yesterday when you almost passed away on desk, you know?
Same exact thing. All right, let's bring it over to the panel one more time. Hopefully we can get our boy in to get his thoughts on this.
I'm back.
Hey!
I was holding on my breath for too long. I can't speak.
Yeah, I can
okay,
kind of
but
hear it.
I've got a lot of things to say, but we can start with the first point. It's a classic case of like pickup versus team fight. And I think in the early game, Todak went really well. Is that a Lolita, by the way?
Oh yeah, Lolita.
Udah nih.
I love
Udah
it.
hawa-hawa
I love
kematian
how,
nih buat
they
Todak nih.
have the cosplay. I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself.
I'm telling you.
MPL, man.
It's a culture here. That's why people saw earlier, there was the picture of the festival happening literally right outside. So even if you're not a big fan of MLBB, this is an easy way
Where
to
is it happening at?
Eju City, literally right outside.
Yeah.
The door is right over there.
There's concert, there's food stalls, there's drinks, there's fun and games,
Yeah.
merchandisers, there's EDM stage.
There's
I
the
saw.
Lord and a turtle, which I took a picture with
Oh
outside.
yeah, we do have
It goes on
Yeah.
at 12 a.m. every day.
I like to take the picture of the Lord, man.
You kind of made
I'm
it
as big as him. I'm as big as him, I think.
Sure.
I mean, well, I don't know.
Okay, let's get back to the game.
Alah,
Classic is a
dek,
pickup versus
gini
team fight. I
dek.
think
Nah,
Stormy
gini
really
dek,
well
dek.
deserves it. The Sky Piercer
Eh.
was a gamble, Gideon.
Yep, it was a gamble, but it just goes to show how much importance they put onto Stormy this time round, especially with an entire team of hard
Bisa
chunkers. They're not
aja.
the big finishers. They like to whittle them down, and that Sky Piercer got a lot of value. But one thing that I wanted to point out here was this
Orang
brute
Malay.
force
Kemarin kan
breastplate.
ada di
This
Indo
is
kemarin,
some old
di
tech.
Gideon.
This is when Yves was like, man, these assassins really suck to deal with. What do? I get a brute force breastplate.
It's also for the movement speed capabilities. Once you pop in the ultimate, you're able to just chase and gun everyone down with a pepper spray. You just pull them back. So it's sort of like, let's go fishing. If Frankie wants to go fishing, I'm going fishing too. Yeah.
Hopefully they're going to keep doing this fishing because I like this composition so far. I really hope that they continue with this idea, but at the same time, could Todak have played this better? I mean, the composition was always based about execution on team fights. I feel like there was so much macro aspects that they could have utilized too.
Yeah. The thing is, it's interesting that Stormy actually bought the Sky Piercer and then into the Brute Force Breastplate instead of going for a Clock of Destiny. So he got a Clock of Destiny as a third item, and I was just slowly looking at why he was doing that. And he doesn't really need to deal all that damage because the Sky Piercer literally just takes out and executes all low HP enemies. And all he needs to do is just set up for the rest of the team. Because it's a classic case of team fight. In Todak, I think what they did or should have done.
Tapi kalian bisa
was
lihat kan ya,
basically
tim fight itu
decide
rapat
on
semua.
the offside. It's a macro play kind of a decision making that Todak needs to work with. They're putting all their
Yang jadi
fruits into
PR
one
sebenarnya
cheat code. You get
positioning
that,
sih.
reference right there. But I think you're just putting all their fruits in one cheat code. It's simple as that. Protect the president kind of situation.
Get down, Mr. President. Abstract, walk with me with this one. Do you agree with the statement here? Do you think it's all based around Chiku guys at this point of time? Because those early fights, right? A decisive victory
Yang
from
keren ini,
Todak in
jago.
those first 3 minutes because Chiku got first rotation off of Innocent.
Honestly, Chiku guys, he is definitely very pivotal to Todak, and being a Beatrix, you can actually pivot yourself
Sheesh.
to many ways. This is something that we don't really see too much from the other marksmen. In this case, you are able to play around Yen Lord. Once you get the nice little suppress in, boom, you will be able to blast people into oblivion and so on and so forth. But in the meantime, we are also looking at Zayed, great burst capabilities, and we're also looking at Zymes and Boy. You mentioned about the fact that there was the, I want to say Calamity Reaper.
Halo
The
Muhammad
Stallion side.
Ardiansyah.
When it comes down to Stallion
Throwback.
side to Zymes and Boy, at least even the Mage have got a pretty good capabilities on dealing with SRG themselves, even if Chiku guys is out of commission.
I think 2 crucial points that is worth pointing out. First one is when we look at Todak, right, Suyo, Zai is the one that can kind of play that side lane, which is something that I feel like can drag out the game, but he's not safe because there's so much map coverage.
That's right.
You have Cram on the Khalid, you have Yunes with the AOG on the Gatokacha. Secondly, Yanlord on his Franco, I really didn't like it as much when they picked it up because first of all, it's
Malaysia seperti ini bisa menang, bisa lah. Justru kalau ngeliat mereka kayak begini, kita itu lebih tenang dari Malaysia.
Franco is so one-dimensional. You look at the island builds, Boots into Winter Crown, into Immortality. He's a one-way ticket, right? He flickers, Bloody Hunt, Winter Crowns. After that, he's completely useless.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but I do think that Yanlord in this particular case wasn't exactly handed out the best hand, right? Because again, it's very much so, I catch somebody with the Iron Hook, I need the rest of my team to kind of zone the rest away, and even so, big canceling effects, right? You're already dealing with like technically a semi-global ult and a semi-GOA as well with this Raging Sandstorm. So I feel like no matter what, he was going to get cancelled.
I think the problem comes down to like Todak having the Franco and the high loss. You have STS, basically single target stuns that come into the game. It's sort of like a counter synergy to what Chiku guys likes to do with the Beatrix. You want to land down your Bennett's Rage, but it's not enough sort of like crowd control. You can't stun every one of the 5 members that SRG throws at you, and they like to play team fights. And I think that's what they're, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back. In the early game, they were winning just because they have a lot of early game damage from Zayid, and then Zayid is basically, his second skill is sort of like the lethal counter to what like Belmont has, deals percentage damage to lost HP, correct? So it's basically like an execution for that Suyo. So they
Itu juga match-nya, gue kira match ini match yang wow seperti yang kemarin atau yang tadi ya. Match 1
even looking at the like post-game stats
one-sided
number in
tiba-tiba.
terms of like damage taken compared to damage given out, there's a huge disparity there where SRG is able to tank through a lot more in comparison, despite Todak actually pumping out a decent number. So I'm thinking like what adjustments could be made for this. Husky, I'm going to throw this question to you because again, you were critical on this, Franco. If I swapped it out with maybe a Matilda for an example, could that have made the difference?
I do feel like Matilda probably will have slightly more impact.
Sayang
You
buat
do
Chiku
give
dia
up
tuh.
the suppression, right? But you exchange it with mobility, which is something that probably would have facilitated the macro play, considering that SRG has a lot of map coverage with their heroes. You also have decent sort of multi-target crowd control depending on the circling ego. I do agree, and I think it fits Yanlord's playstyle a lot more, right? And on top of that, also, the Gatot, we kind of talk about it a lot backstage. We say that it has to go. SRG felt that yesterday. We saw the impact the Gatot had, right? 18 assists out of 21 kills this game.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mad stuff.
I don't know. It feels a little weird because like as much as Gatot has kind of been up and down for other regions, it's been kind of working out for us. I don't know if it's just because of our play style or maybe it's just, you know, we just don't know how to handle it very well. But with that being said, before we go anywhere, it looks like we've got a little bit of words with Poji happening on the offstage segment brought to you by Hotlink. So Poji, what's going on your side?
Selamat datang ke MPL Off Station dibawakan khas oleh
Siapa ni
Hotlink.
sekarang ni?
Dan sekarang saya bersama dengan pemain daripada pasukan Ray, itu Virgie dan juga Danny. Alright, jadi sekarang saya ada soalan
Virgie,
yang
Danny.
pertama. Apa perasaannya lepas tengok
Kenapa
pertemuan
dek
yang
ini?
pertama
Udah gue
tadi?
ganti-gantikan yuk.
Pertandingannya sangat sengit sih. Tadi turtle pertama dapat Todak, tapi SRG dapat momentum lah. Jadi dapat menang.
I see. Tapi kalau macam itulah, Todak, maksudnya dia dindong. Tapi apa yang membuatkan kekalahan Todak dekat dalam game yang pertama?
Mungkin Todak hilang momentum kali ya. SRG dapat momen lah di objektif.
Baik. Selamat jawapannya. So kita tengok soalan sikit lah, lebih sikit. Pada pendapat Virgie, dalam banyak region, sebab ada 16 yang akan bertanding dekat M6.
Apa nih yuk? Gak ada
region
nih.
mana yang boleh bagi saingan
Unsupported
yang
message lu
kuat?
kirim apa cuy?
Mungkin ada 3 lah. Filipina, Indo, Malaysia. Ada 3 region lah.
Bangga.
Oh.
So 3 negara, tepuk sikit lah dia nama Malaysia.
Kirim yang biasa aja gak bisa gak sih yuk?
So
Gak bisa
kita
dibuka
ada
loh di
soalan
PC.
untuk Mr.
Gak bisa
Danny.
diganti langsung.
Okay, Mr. Danny, saya nak minta sikit lah bagi ucapan kepada pasukan.
Welcome to Nova East, Nanda.
Akan menang ni dan juga Vamos yang akan mewakili Malaysia untuk M6. Do you understand Malay or English?
Boleh faham.
Boleh.
Ya.
Okay, ya lah. So,
Sumpah sih ngantuk banget sih.
Negara Malaysia lah. Demi Malaysia.
Alright. Okay, one more thing. Saya nak sedikit harapan dan ucapan kepada Trap. Actually, Trap pun tercalon juga untuk MPL Regular Season Award.
Yalah, sebab kat Team Ray kan kami tak dapat masuk playoff kan, tapi performance kami ada 2 player yang main dengan baik lah. So harap-harap esoknya boleh menang jugalah.
Tak apa, insyaAllah dengan doa, maybe can. Baik, itu saja daripada Virgie dan juga Danny. Hopefully korang dapat semua info yang diperlukan dan semoga mereka berjaya. Salah satu ke M6, let's go.
Go Malaysia.
Woof! All right. Coming back into this. Poji really in his element today. I saw him hyping out the crowd. I saw the way he's handling these interviews. He's really coming to himself and feeling himself here in Johor Bahru. Now, we quickly sent over a text over to our boy all the way in the Philippines, Reptar, or otherwise known as Renmar, as you may know him, on how the meta will evolve as we approach M6. So we asked him, how do you see the meta evolve as you get closer to M6? And he replied, well, we'll see more flexible options for EXP and Roam. Hello, Kai. This meta punishes errors and deaths at the wrong time harshly, but can be strangely rewarding to hyper-aggressive teams. If hyper-aggression will continue to be rewarded is my biggest question. Churros, do you agree with the statement?
100%. 100%. This meta
Kenapa
sort
tim
of
Malay
seems
masih...
like
Oh, soalnya sama.
Malaysia's meta.
Gameplaynya sama
Very
antara Malay dan Indo.
hyper-aggressive, and I think
Suka
in the
kerusuhan.
It's sort of like you win an early game, snowball
teamfight.
all the way to the late game, because this is how like the itemizations
Ya,
and
kayaknya ya udah
system
itulah
works.
yang
Once you get all
diambil
the
kan.
gold systems and then you
Lebih ke cocok aja sih.
you take control of economy, you take control of the jungle, you sort of starve your opponent
Masuk
out.
dengan
they can't come
gameplay
back.
lah
It makes it
istilahnya.
that much more harder to come back, and it's easier for teams that are ahead to extend that gold lead rather than for teams that are behind to come back from a crucial sort of like base defense.
And this is backed up by statistics, right? Throughout the entire MPL MY Season 14 playoffs, we have been seeing a trend whereby whenever you win the early stages of the game, you are very likely be awarded the late game.
I did notice, I mean, considering that like the meta is evolving, I've already got a little bit of taste what PH, and especially firsthand what ID was able to throw out. A lot of the biggest problems that I'm noticing is that most people are straying away from high ground defense, right?
Yeah.
We're not seeing as much wave play. Even SRG's composition, if you were to ask somebody, hey, which one of these heroes is absolutely great at wave clearing, the closest you would get is
Alpha.
Claude and then even Khalid, but that's only
Yeah.
for the early section, right?
Maybe Alpha would be possible as well, but
I mean, sure,
but
you're
the-
losing out your retry, so that's like an important tool.
right,
It's not
yeah.
to move fast.
Fair.
Yeah, fair.
Now, boys and girls,
Ah,
keep
bisa
in mind that
nih.
the
Mantap,
M6
mantap.
pre-sale tickets are open now. M6 happening in Malaysia, so don't miss out on
Makasih, yo.
exclusive item discounts when you purchase
Lembur
it.
sih, yo,
Don't forget,
anjir.
there's also a lucky draw. Prizes worth up to 80 diamonds, and the pre-sale tickets are available from October the 31st to then
Yeah.
November the 5th. Get it now at www.tickets2u.com.my.
They're gonna be spelling out the number 2.
You have no idea.
Yo, lebih besar dari 2 mega anjir.
Hey,
I have
Nah,
one
gua kecil
right
dulu,
on
sabar,
that.
sabar.
I'm so sorry.
Gideon? Just because I'm dyslexic doesn't mean I can't read a script, okay?
Worcestershire sauce.
It's Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire. It's Worcestershire.
In my defense,
Singapore versus MY.
I did my best yesterday, and I condemn him.
Hey, wait, what?
That's
What did I
good.
do?
That's good. Keep them in their place. Keep them in their place.
Wait.
Small
Okay, how do you pronounce? How do you pronounce ZHUXIN?
Jushin.
It's not Jushin. Jusin.
Cusin. Cusin,
As
bang.
a Chinese, I agree.
Itu guy kita, bro.
But we are all
Juicy.
Chinese.
As a Chinese,
know.
Maybe
I
except
agree.
for Gideon, right? What? Except for Gideon.
Hey, I'm yellow on the inside too, just because we're a Type C. Poor guy, dude. All this talk about Type C, the poor guy
Juicy.
didn't even hit a bingo and he was basically
Kalau asli
guaranteed.
Malaysia.
Now, let's jump into the drafting phase. I want to hear about adaptations for this game. I'm going to assume that both teams are going to switch sides. We're expecting Todak to be on blue, and we're expecting SRG to be on red.
Buat
As
kalian semua baca apa?
Now, Jules,
Cusin.
walk me through it. After the last game, if you're in Todak's position, what do you do to change?
Open up the
Kayaknya aman.
Jusin, try to
Oke, gua jadi
prioritize
kuyang dulu, guys.
something a little bit more early game and try to prioritize Chiku guys, because the way that they're playing in the previous game, it kind of seems like it's 4 protect 1, 4 protect Chiku, and it's just Chiku's game to shine. They really need something that has AoE crowd control, not just the single target stuns. and they need some late game insurance. They need to watch the macro. I think that is
Zuxin, waduh, Zuxin nggak tuh? Cusin
sending Cram onto the
Coba,
long
coba
lane,
ulangin
just
habis
clearing
Oma
out that
Ciarin.
waves, and then Todak has to
Cusin.
send someone back
Bisa
to try
nggak?
to clear that waves, leaving Chiku guys quite wide and open.
Interesting. Husky, does that mean that in
Sin.
these upcoming games,
Bukan
the bans
Zuxin.
shouldn't change too much? Like, we should expect the draft bans to be quite similar.
Namanya
previously.
mengajar seorang guru, Jo.
Unfortunately, I feel like
Murid
that is the
mengajar
case
guru
again.
tadi barusan
Right
ya,
now, you're
teman-teman
choosing
ya.
between a possible Gatot ban or a possible Yves or Jushin ban, right? So SRG has to make a huge choice, but either way, Todak will still get the shorter end of the stick.
Honestly, for my part, I really feel that when it comes down to SRG, they were very decisive with the way that they engages in battle, and of course they have very good counter-engage options coming in from the Gatotkacha. In fact, removing away the Gatotkacha might actually be something that Todak would really want, so that they will be able to engage with great precision, and they wouldn't exactly be too punished for it as well.
Okay, let's see, what is it going to be?
Yeah,
Jushin instead. Now, this opens up two options. Gatotkacha, yes, but Yves also another problem, and Gatot is going to be the one that they lean into.
Yeah, because Gatot has an access pass straight to where Yves is, right? Every time she uses RWM, here comes Superman landing on top of you. I might not be able to stall you out too much, but I sure as heck can threaten a kill.
I think SRG might go for Nolan right here, and then maybe even Loyi, just try to get that repositioning.
Really?
I feel like Loyi is so much better because Todak likes to play team fight. So you have the Loyi, just proc the yin-yang reactions. Basically, Todak's just stuck in one direction.
What if I do you better? What if instead of Nolan, they go straight into Ling this time round?
Oh, wait.
It is
pick Ling?
Yeah.
It's viable. I mean,
but the guys hasn't been picking it up for a while because it just takes a little bit more time. They want to go for the Alpha and the Yves instead.
Okay.
Interesting. So they're fighting sort of like zone control.
Ngomong
against
secara
zone
draft
control.
bentar belum kelihatan Gatotkaca.
Great tech, I mean,
Tumben bukan Hylos. Hylos di ban. Oh iya, Hylos di ban.
utility, again, right? Zone control, like
Alpha sama Eve ya, itu pilihan bagus sih sebenarnya Alpha sama Eve. Ini bakal nutup Gatotkaca. Jadi Gatotcacanya dipaksa nanti buat lompat ke sampingnya Eve. Sedangkan kalau dia udah di sampingnya sana, berarti bakal ada team fight yang di-initiate sama si Todak ya. Jadi ada Valentina diambil ini untuk satu mengcopy real world manipulation, terus yang kedua juga dengan efek terrify-nya dia buat alphanya agak susah buat bisa masuk. Sama Popheus ya, ini Popheus sebenarnya agak risiko sih ini buat Todak. Kalau gua ya, gua ini suka dua pick awalnya SRG karena dua pick awalnya udah kayak nutup banyak hal. Dari tingkat ketebalan hero yang dipick ya, Popheus dengan si Gatotkaca, terus juga dengan Popheus yang nanti kalau lompat di bukan real world ya dia mau kemana, udah gak punya apa-apa kan. Kecuali tadi mereka secure Matilda, which is Matilda ini gak laku di match yang sekarang. SRG masih garang kok. SRG masih garang guys. Kemarin kalah ya kecelakaan aja karena banyak cheese pick yang dimainin dengan Todak. Cheese picknya mereka gak cuman buat EXP atau gold ya, buat jungle juga. Minimal adalah dibawain satu. Akhirnya Matilda panjang umur gila. Nah, dengan diambilnya Matilda sebenarnya tadi ya. Kalau mereka mau pakai Matilda dengan Bane, gue suka buat Todak. Karena mereka punya Matilda, mereka bisa escape dari real world manipulation. Tapi karena mereka nggak ngambil Matilda, ini sekarang Matildanya bakal kapelan dengan si Alpha. Nah, Matilda Alpha, cara tangkapnya gimana? Gue gak tahu juga nih sekarang nih. Mereka masih belum punya counterpartnya buat nangkep si Matilda dengan si Alpha. 3 awal ini SRG udah menang. Tinggal di in-game-nya ya sih. Dan menurut gue sih SRG chance-nya besar banget ya. Itu buat bisa lolos.
So someone asked me this interaction, our talent manager actually asked this, right? You know glue can stick on the people with split. He's like, can you take the guiding wind when you're stuck onto someone? And I'm like, no, that's broken.
You press the button for your opponent?
Can you imagine you have a Matilda, you stick onto someone with split, your Matilda uses guiding wind, and you just take them 90 days around the world? Oh my goodness.
I'd be freaking
Well,
out.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because of Kagura TikTok kind of videos that I see online.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind that interaction working out as long as I get to have a skin of Jackie Chan. I'll take it. I'll take it. You know when
SRG
Wilson
kebanyakan
while you're
skill
at it.
sama
Now,
Indo
the
ya,
glue
jadi
is
agak
banned
jauh.
out.
Bisa juga sih, tapi
Full 3
glue-nya ini
seconds
selalu
into
di
this.
ban.
Now, coming into the second phase, we are seeing
Sangat-sangat
Tankbuster,
di-respect sekali ya buat
X-Borg,
glue.
and, you know, kind of thrown out of the picture. And I
Komunikasi
definitely
gitu.
understand where SRG is coming from because Zyd has shown it off before.
Padahal kalau
But
buat
even the
kita,
glue
ya
interaction
glue
to ensure that
ngapain sih di
Phobius
ban
has
itu?
a good time in
Cuman
lane
emang
will this
merepotkan
cause a
kalau
couple
lawan
of
glue ya.
problems.
Selain dia nempel, dia
Man,
itu suka mengacaukan irama nih waktu lagi team
This
fight,
is
waktu
much
kita lagi
more
set up
fun.
di
This is very,
turtle.
very committal. We talked about it backstage as well.
Oke, gak ada Xbox
Back
satu.
line.
Band dong, buang band dong.
I think if Innocent is not as innocent anymore, if Phobius
God.
doesn't
Lunox.
land all of the stuns, he will get
Ya ada Roberts ya
trapped
di
inside.
elipnya.
Basically,
Xbox kemarin sempat dipakai Zayed. Lunoxnya ini memang jadi prayo banget buat diambil juga.
So sorry, I got sidetracked a bit.
Kenapa
I saw
gue
this
punya
kid
feeling
there.
Iritel ya di sini ya guys ya. Iritel sama Matilda kan enak banget.
Calm down, kid. Calm down.
Nathan Iritel juga kalau mau oke nih. Nathan buat lawan Gatot, Nathan buat lawan Povius.
Don't worry, it's gonna go on Facebook after this. Don't worry.
Motherland. I know how to speak Bahasa.
Okay, I hope you do because these kids are mean. These kids are real mean these days.
I bet that Dash wrote it for them.
That'd be even funnier if that was
Hold
the
it up.
case. Now, coming into the second part, Lunox once again going to get banned out from the side of SRG. They did it in the previous game, number 1, but we're also seeing a hill to pick, which tells me that Zai wants to play Assassins one more time.
Mau Nathan kah? Bagus nih Nathan nih lawan Nathan, lawan Gatot sama Povius. Ada entropy buat kabur. Tamus. Tamus yang ngecis si SRG anjir dibukain Tamus gak tuh? Belum pernah diambil loh. Tamus ini belum pernah dipakai di MPL MY, baru dipakai sekali. Sekarang Nathannya di ban mana? Oh iya Nathannya di ban. Sorry. Kalau Nolan mati, mending ban gak sih? Wah. Tamus kayak nutup juga hero-hero yang kayak Cloud. Dipaksa Harit kah? Ambil aja udah Harit. Joy, oke. Ini ya, ini yang gue bilang guys. Kuatnya Todak itu di cheese picknya mereka, di jungle-nya mereka yang suka ganti-ganti hero. Tinggal siapa? Kalau mau main aman clean. Iritel ya, bener Iritel. Harit udah, Harit kan aja udah. Harit lawan Iritel mana ya? Khalid lah, aku sih tadi bagus banget keren pakai Khalid.
Yeah, it has. Now what does the gold lane play? It feels like he has to go back to Claude one more time to create that space for himself, right? Nobody can really outrun the Joy now that Irithel is technically gone, and it feels bad to take sprint.
There's just so much things going on, right? Todak side is kind of full-on run-it-down kind of composition. So SRG's final gold laner, mobility is definitely one thing that we want to look out for. Nathan is out, Claude is the only one in. I don't think that Melissa is even an option per se.
Yeah, it's all about repositioning for Todak, I think. Like, they have so many heroes with mobility.
They still want Harith?
Draft ya, kalau draft gue suka kanan. Kanan strong. Cuman kalau early powernya bisa dipegang dengan Zayed, mungkin Todak bisa. Karena mereka kan tim yang suka team fight, dan draftnya Todak ini draft yang team fight banget kecuali Iritel. Jadi kalau empatnya ini bisa nyediain ruang dan waktu buat Iritel bisa tetap farming, tetap jadikan item. Si Todak masih ada chance buat menang. Tapi secara overall, secara average semuanya ya, SRG jauh lebih stabil dari hero-heronya. Alpha Matilda sudah ditangkep. If ini bakal bisa buat tim fightnya enak banget, digabung dengan zaman force-nya si Harit. Terus nanti ya Tamusnya cuman bakal jadi badan juga nih buat pegangin antara Gatot Kaca terus sama si siapa tuh satunya tuh EXP yang sana. MYSG udah bisa udah beli.
First strike has been attained by Selangor Red Giants. They will find themselves on the red side for this game. Todak on the blue side. He's got to see if SRG can ride on that wave that they have built for themselves.
All right, let's jump right into this. Todak going to be on the blue side this time against SRG on the red side here. Now, Abstract, do you agree with Churros on this one? Because I feel like as much as both of these compositions will roughly want to scale, I do feel bad for Crab. He is going to fall off pretty hard compared to the rest of his team.
One thing's for sure, right? When it comes down to Thanos, you beat the lane pretty hard. And of course, when it comes down to the early stages, you want...
Laner pasif kayak Eman atau agresif kayak Aaron, tergantung kebutuhan tim. Kalau pasif itu bagusnya nanti di late game-nya kan bisa gendong-gendong kan. Cuman minusnya di early game. Ya kalau pasif ditemenin dengan early game aggression nggak cocok. Nah Aaron kenapa cocok karena early game aggressionnya si TLI di si Favian itu main juga di early game. Bertiga kan sama Yes sama si Widi. Bagus yang agresif ya, tergantung kalian. Nggak bisa dipukul sama rata gitu, nggak bisa. Oh iya bocil kamera, sip.
Now, mid lane is going to be a very big contention point, right? Because as much as Sempoy wants to walk up, he can't do it without losing a good chunk. So he needs the concussive blast from Yan Lord to help him clear that lane effectively.
I like the rotation from Yums as well, arriving top side. I think Cram, even without Yums, he might be able to survive with Vengeance, but we see an attempt from Zayed. He's gonna chip away Cram's health as much as possible. As the rest of the backer comes in. Yanlord sees this, guys, and Yums shows up. An instant call to retreat from Todak.
Bakal bisa sih.
Maybe they are deciding otherwise. Yanlord has a ton opportunity. Guy gets caught. Good Spear of Alpha to negate that.
Very good buffer.
Bagus ya kalau Spear of Alpha posisi lagi kena taunting juga dia tetap lompat dulu ke belakang baru jalan. Jadi durasi ke tauntingnya kepotong spawn.
Yet, especially with the Phobius, right? He doesn't have his ult to get that big burst of damage, and I think the base damage from Yanlord, yes, it's high, but he kind of needs that meter to build up.
Kalau Golden Fighter biasanya jungle-nya
yang
jungle-nya bakal diberikan space buat farming, biar bisa cepat kaya ya. Karena kalian main fighter di gold tujuannya adalah untuk nahan biar gold lawan nggak terlalu jauh. Tapi kalian snowballnya nanti lewat jungle-nya kalian. Kayak dulu kan ada Roger. Sekarang itu ada Angela Ling.
RWM from Stormy really wants to take out Yanlord. Revitalize keeps him alive. Here comes Momo. Yums gets slammed on. First blood for Momo. Zyme's standpoint now unleashes the stolen RWM. It's going to be Todak finding the first kill.
Oh, that's a little unfortunate. What an unfortunate way to die. He had Flicker available.
Drawing buat M6 belum tahu. Tunggu ini selesai. Minggu depan kali.
Wow. But even a kill on the bottom side.
It's going to be a trade for sure, right? Zayed? Maybe not. Oh! Innocent survives death.
Honestly, now, since we were talking about the Cram for a bit, you know, when it comes down to Thamus, I'm not particularly a very big fan of the Thamus in this game, right? When it comes down to the 1v1 laning, sure, you kind of win a little bit, but you don't exactly beat Momo, especially once Momo is level 4. All the uncomfortable moments, you literally have got 0% to hit in order to make full use of your Quarter Inferno. And if picking up the Vengeance as well, you don't really have a claw on the opposite.
Oh, wow, so flicker in for Momo, still Cram, take the turtle. Jump on the Stormy. Stormy gets away with the Cyclone Eye. Cram now. He's a beast. Hell unleashed. Yums takes out Yanlord.
Tebel banget ya Thamus ya.
Thinking of one more. They can't find it, but it's good enough.
So you were saying, Cram got pretty deep in there, and I think one of the unique aspects of it was the fact that at least
I want to play tournament. Today, do we have MCL today?
Enough for him to get some actual value.
Honestly, if it's ganking potentials, sure. But when it comes down to 5v5, you're literally throwing bodies. I really want to see Cram, you know, coming into action.
I agree. He's honestly, he's really big sandbag. Don't forget, he's also got Vengeance. Oh,
wow.
Too much damage.
Last,
Way too
guys.
much. Overwhelming. 3-man gang topside finds the kill. Yums soaks up the XP mid. Yanlord invades the jungle. It's going to take some space up, but I want to kind of bring attention while Yums is going to go down, but with Innocent finding their solo kill on Chiku, guys, is that going to be a tipping scale for SRG?
We're gonna have to see the goal difference first. I think if there's 1,000 goal difference, yes, it's basically.
Tapi masih menang SRG ya. Nah, bagusnya kalau kalian main fighter buat jadi jungler, dia itu nggak terlalu bergantung dengan purple buff. Jadi lumayan enak kan, masih tetap bisa. M6 semalam atau cash ke di Indo belum tahu. Belum ada info guys. We haven't started in India MCL. What time is it in India now?
Hold on to the mid stages of the game mostly is going to be my question, because Todak at that point in time, I would expect that Zayed has got a pretty good amount of damage onto himself. Momo and Yanlord should be able to survive pretty nicely, and of course Innocent, the fact that he did manage to pick up a Stalin Scythe itself, that is something that I don't expect too much just yet.
Amin, kucing. Tapi cuma khusus watch party sih. Wah, Chico sih hilang pasti. Kenapa? Coba Ducatinya di sana, bang.
What do you even do there?
Panggung M series paling bagus nih malah. Itu layarnya bakal, gue gak tahu ya season ini gimana. Tapi yang di M1 itu layarnya kalau nggak salah antara 2 atau 3 gitu. Bagus. Jadi semua sisi bisa nonton. Ya, SRG menang di tim fight. Kemarin mereka bisa dipisah-pisah. Sekarang kayaknya susah banget. Wow. Si Yanto dikejar, mati Yanto. Wah, nyaris Yanto.
Again, selfless to keep his teammate alive. Bottom tier 1 falls.
6:24 PM. Alright, 1 more hours. Just wait, Wonderfun.
Like Yanlord is just a punching bag at this point, right?
Muter 4 layar masa gak nama. Setahu aku dulu muter soalnya layarnya pas aku di sana.
Oh, doesn't have it. Zyme's standpoint gets away, but now Zayed might be the next target if he stays there for a bit longer. Yums commits the flicker. He just wants to close the distance. Circling Ego, can you dodge it?
Masih bisa ngedes gak? Masih bisa ngedes gak?
Doesn't have the
Tidak bisa ngedes, kristalnya habis. Yan Lord, nah ini tebal sih, aman.
Man,
Kacau,
and then
Cuk, Todak.
Youm's coming to make
Kacau,
sure that he can't recall and has to walk back the bit. Man, Yanlord is having
Amin,
such
Ohori,
a
semoga
rough
keren.
game. He cannot really
Makan
do
masuk
much
ke
in these
gameplaynya si
scenarios. And this
Selangor.
Amos pick is really showing why it's deadly. 2 levels ahead against Momo, a single dive to end that laning phase, and now it's spilling into not only the jungle but even the gold lane.
So at least when it comes down to the aggression, SRG has got it handled. Once they have got the lead, they will be able to move along with the lead and doesn't even allow Todak to play that 5-man run it down kind of composition, because even if they do, they're so
Wincon
heavily
Todak
behind
bagaimana
them.
ya?
Even if they jump right
Winconnya
in,
Todak,
5
Ciku
seconds
guys
just
jadi
taken down, kinda
satu ya.
making Todak
Itu
kinda
udah jelas.
think about it.
Terus mereka sebenarnya karena mereka bawa Joy, mereka harus bisa ngacaukan buat di early game tempo-temponya. Sebenarnya tadi saya lihat sempat dapat purple buff-nya juga. Cuman kayaknya nggak terlalu bisa jalan karena ditabrak balik kan sama Selangor. Mereka punya Tamus, terus mereka punya Matilda, jadi enak banget nih main kitingnya Selangor dapat. Jadi mungkin buat Todak ya, mereka harus bisa potong belakang, nggak cuma dari main depan. Karena kalau mereka ajak buat main depan, mereka bakal kalah coy. Nah ini kalau mereka masuk lewat belakang, ada kemungkinan bisa menang. Intinya jangan masuk lewat depan aja, di depan ditabrak kayak begini coy, habis. Nggak bisa, nggak bisa. Lu nggak bakal bisa main front to back kalau lawan Matilda. Kena kiting. Potong belakangnya biar Matildanya bingung. Pasti lompat ke belakang lah, ada orang di belakang gitu. Matilda gak diambil kok sama Todak. Gak ada harga diri Matilda. Joy, kalau buat gue sih jungle itu yang menyesuaikan lah. Joy masih bagus-bagus aja karena gak ada yang bisa nangkap dia kan. Gak ada single target yang pasti buat nangkap si Joy. Cuman ya gitu, kadang-kadang efek-efek geseran buat dia gak bisa nge-dash. Nah itu yang buat susah tuh. Kalau di Indo laku Matilda, kalau di Malay kayaknya dari kemarin gue nonton gak terlalu prayo deh. Oh ini bagus ya, ini timnya bagus ya nih. Nah lo, masih cabut ya. Anak baru dari mana sih Yunus? Emang ini anak baru?
I think that right now, the biggest mistake we're seeing from SRG side, and we've seen this actually happen the last time they fought against each other, that Zyme are in these awkward spots, almost playing like Moon during M1.
Karena kayaknya Matilda itu nggak bisa terlalu dipakai buat main buka bush, main agresif. Padahal sebenarnya bisa. Cuman memang risikonya tinggi ya, kan tipis ya Matilda. Ya, mohon maaf nih, Matilda nggak bakal bisa setebal Tigreal ya, setebal Minotaur kan. Mereka ya yang di Malay ini pakainya itu romer-romer yang memang punya mobilitas. Punya mobilitas langsung. Jauh makanya laku. Perbedaan draft Malay, Indo dan PH ya. Malay dengan Indo. Indo itu lebih versatile gitu. Indo itu di tengah-tengah guys, serius. Kalau di Malay ini draftnya lebih ke team fight. Kalau PH itu draftnya lebih ke objektif. Indo itu bisa dua-duanya. Nah itu bagusnya Gatot Kaca ya, bisa lompat ke belakangnya. Cuman kalau main front to back balik lagi nih, kalau timnya pecah gini nggak bisa si Todak. Romalnya bukan buka badan nih. Memang mereka cari tim fight tabrak 5 udah. Minusnya mereka di sana kalau di kiting selesai. Kalau di kiting ini di kiting kan. Game 1 di kiting, game 2 di kiting. Nanti kita lihat game ketiga guys diapain. Oh lihat dimainin, dimaju mundurin. Kalau tim fightnya tambah lama rugi nih buat Todak. Karena yang kanan ini bisa ngeheal. Betul, main objektif. Bukan nunggu salah, ya main objektif aja. Ada turtle ya coba buat fight turtle. Buffnya musuh muncul, coba fight di buffnya musuh. Advantage-nya dari sana. Ke pick off 1, kecuri, goldnya mereka lebih unggul jauh. Itemnya lebih cepat jadi. Nanti baru mereka team fight waktu mereka udah item siap semua.
This is not looking good. This is snowballing too fast. And I've never like honestly the embodiment of gas.
Haya bisa. Haya nggak terlalu bisa counter Matilda. Karena lompatnya dia kan kadang-kadang bisa putus tuh. Shadow kill bisa putus ya.
Still, Selangor Red Giants still have got the early game and
Pakito
they
enggak
took
lah,
control from
terlalu tipis
minute
guys
one.
Pakito. Balmon sih, Balmon better daripada Pakito. Tapi kalau BTK main ya, gue mention Pakito pasti.
Situation that Todak was forced into. They don't really like to
Jadi
constantly
sakit
draw.
dengan mereka main
Vamos
tabrak.
made them play that
Nah, yang main
fast
tabrak
game.
emang
SRG
kalau
have
tabrak
picked
lawan
that up.
tabrak,
They're making Todak fight.
tergantung
But
mental tuh
Todak
nanti tuh
feels,
siapa yang lebih batu.
Man, I want to take a breather,
Siapa yang
but
bakal nggak
SRG are
motivate.
just running at me. Now I've completely lost control.
I love it. I personally love it because at least Cram gets to play the game. Yums can be a little flexible in between, but you can see the raw confidence from Sakai's on an alpha past level 12. His ult is on a really short cooldown timer, so he doesn't mind just throwing it out just for fun, knowing that Yums has the guiding win.
Tuh lihat dari
Cram
zona
just standing
lagi.
in front of everyone, right?
Sekali lagi guys ya, kalau diajak main kiting,
Only finds the guys. Yellow to the back, cannot
Archie
find anyone,
power.
but Stormy will be stepped on by Zion. Electrifying Beast takes him out, but Momo
Wah,
sacrificed.
Joey-nya
Now
masuk
double
ngacak-ngacak,
kill
coy.
for Zion. That's the fight for Todak.
They've broken them in half. The backline is
Main
dead.
bau jelek,
No
bau jelek.
damage dealers. Selangor Red Giants are
Todak harus
forced to
bawa nih.
respect Todak as they still have for one member more over the ones that are currently alive. But even so, I feel like Todak, they don't want to take this Lord. Right now, they got to clear their waves and more importantly, supercharge Chiku guys to replicate this performance again and again.
Zion is understandably one level
Intinya ada yang ke
below
belakang
Sakai
satu deh,
and
atau dua
even when
kayak
they want to
Iritel
take
atau
for a
si
fight,
Valen di
there's
belakang.
still quite a lot of battles but not available for them.
Zion
Nah,
dodges
front
every
to back,
single
front to back,
spell.
nggak bisa front to back.
That could have been his death, so SRG, they bought enough time for the respawn timers. But that bottom wave is something that Todak needs to keep an eye on, right? It is constantly pushing in. SRG have a wave. Chiku guys, it's going to show on the map right now, so SRG have the man advantage. Yenlord sees this happening. Zai on the end. Yums will see him right now. SRG
Wow.
on the gas. It's all about the Lord. AOG cancel on one side. Yenlord shows up and now commits for the dive out of the end use. Yenlord falls. I'm Senpoi will not survive. Momo
Mati
to the
Momo.
backline. Gets Yums. Chico finding Rising on a Ducati. But again, SRG are the true machine.
Diusir ya tuh semuanya.
I don't know. Todak's ideas and
Kalau lawan
concepts
Malay,
were
ya ada dua
not
pendekatan
good.
lah.
They
Ajak team fight,
engaged,
kalau
they
kalian
wanted to
menang
find that
mekanik
angle,
menang.
but they waited
Yang
so
kedua ya tunggu mereka
long
buat
to
salah,
find an
karena
exposed hole.
biasanya ya
At
tipe-tipe
least
permainan
for
yang
Selangor Red
agresif
Giants,
itu banyak
Churro
blundernya
said they
juga
were able
gitu.
to find that reposition time and
Banyak
time
bisa
again.
ciptain blunder, tapi mereka juga bisa
forget about
blunder.
the fact that there were absolutely
Wah,
no
segala
human
aku.
camps for,
Di Singapura adanya
for
mau.
Zion to even bounce on. The moment that he finished all 5 of his dashes, he didn't have any HP to kind of work around with anymore. And from that point onwards, you didn't even pop your electrifying beats, and you gotta run away and unable to play the game.
Yeah, and now he's going to try and go for the recall as the Lord has pushed in and less inhibitors should fall.
SRG looking for the coup de grace in this game. Number 2, M6 tickets on the line. They want to be in the match point spot. Chiku guys running around the corner, clip on the edge again. Innocent just taps him. You ain't getting a luxury this time. Todak needs to
Terus
fight
itu
back
Chiku
without
kenapa bisa
guys.
tumbang dah?
And they're
Dia kan
mounting up a
marksman ya?
dang good fight. But Sakai is too strong. Cram is too strong. Muhammad Ehsan and Ikram brings them to match point.
Unkillable machine from the side of Sakai's.
God, what a play. What a game
Mainnya
from
kurang
the
safe.
SRG side. It feels like they got underneath Todak's skin. I think now
Aduh,
Todak has to
SRG
take
lagi
a
dah
real
lolos.
long sit down and think about it. You can see even Cram so excited, bumping the top of his knees underneath that table. And Todak, they're not bummed about it. They know for a fact this
Kakinya kram,
was
kakinya
something
kram.
else.
I think that's a crap, huh?
They have a medical center at their training spot, right?
Kakinya kram, anjir.
Is good. Cram will be fine for M6. Where was this SRG yesterday?
I don't know. This is like a whole new side of them. To see them play like this and to really enable Cram and really utilize why he is such a
Ungkat
great
guys,
laner.
kena mental lah di
I
match
think
pertama
I'm
tadi.
personally all for it.
Kalau mereka lolos di awal udah lebih tenang lah besok.
Upper bracket, there's no stakes.
No stakes.
They need to go down to the lower bracket and be like, yeah, we need to go online.
Tapi emang mainnya mereka tempo cepat.
Comeback win against Red Esports in that game 1 to really flip a switch.
It did. It's something has turned around in them. The motivation is there. But Churros, what do you think about game number 2?
When I was watching
Berat
the
guys,
game,
berat guys. Buat kalian yang
was
berharap Todak
many
lolos,
dots of blue and
kayaknya
just
nggak dulu
one
deh.
big red dot. Because
Lagi
SRG
berat
was
banget
just always together.
They were.
Boro-boro lolos ya.
Every single time they're fighting as 5 men, and one of the biggest things that we
Yang mana tuh adu
underestimated
blunder?
was the Alpha Thamus Matilda combo. That's 2 true damage sustain monsters
Intinya kan kalau kita main agresif itu high risk maneuver kan. Nah, high risk maneuver namanya high risk, high reward. Dan kalau kalian risknya gagal, ya kalian bisa dibalikin. Kayak misalnya nih, gue level 4, gue main agresif, gue coba tabrak diving, kali-kali dapet, terus gue gak dapet, apa yang terjadi? Terus udah level 5, mereka bisa set up objektif, kemungkinan purple kita diambil atau buffnya kita diambil. Ya kayak gitu lah. Perhitungan seperti itu yang buat kayak tim-tim agresif sebenarnya bisa dipunish. Dan tim yang mainnya lebih konservatif, tim yang main objektif ya jauh lebih safe. Kayak PHP gitu.
It's way too much. Give it up for the MVP of the game, going over to Sakai's on his alpha, enabled by his entire
Beda gameplay guys di Malai dengan di Indo. Coba balik ke Indo lagi.
Well, honestly, I would say he is a very generous trigger finger.
You know, I know what it is.
What is it?
They're wearing red today.
Yeah, I saw this comment on Facebook when they lost against Todak.
Because they're wearing blue.
Yeah, someone was like, SRG without red in their jersey, no luck. Wear red.
Hey, from a Chinese, I get you.
Yeah,
I get you.
I don't know what's up with this superstition here, but
You're wearing pink. You're the one closest to red.
Actually, all of y'all.
you're the one guy without any. Yeah, you're the one guy without any hint of red.
Yeah, you call us Chinese.
Maybe I'm wearing red underwear. Who knows?
That's the guess mentality, right?
Oh, let's move on. Take me away, please.
hey, don't worry.
We were so
don't worry
close to
about
him
that.
stripping.
Alpha yang sering di-ban bisa jadi badan, lifesteal, tebel. Sakit, cuma butuh satu item damage. Namanya War X, sisanya item-item defense. Tuh, Queen Swing, Fury, ada Fury Hammer gak tuh dia?
We're gonna see the emblems in just a little bit. But do you think it was a mistake for Zyme Senpai to
Betul,
actually
Ren.
take Brave Smite in this game? Like, I get
Ini
the
kayaknya
concept.
udah
Like,
pasti
there's a lot of
di-ban
damage on their side and you want to sustain, but that is a
Gak bakal
very
lepas
long
lah itu.
cooldown in comparison to taking Impure Rage, for example.
Yeah. Honestly though, I think he knows what he's doing. That's why he builds the corrosive scythe, Starlium scythe. Now Abstract's got me into it as well, just because of the lifesteal and the hybrid spell vamp that the scythe provides, as well as the brave smite, because you need some level of tankiness to come in to
Bisa dong.
tank the front line.
Assassin yang cocok buat lawan dia lumayan banyak ya.
Coming in as well.
Lawan Sun Jin tuh adu mekanik
I do
nanti.
wanna talk about like
Kayak
Zaid picking up
Ling.
that joy.
Siapa
doesn't
Fanny.
work out well because you're just because of the fact that like
Spell dan emblem buat Benedetta. Gue bukan user Bennett sih.
Biasanya
Biasanya emblemnya itu emblem tank semua. Jadi pakai concussive blast, emblem tank. Terus pakai ya paling vitality apa agility oke lah kalau pakai movementnya. Tapi ya setauku sih emblemnya si Bennett yang sekarang tuh kayak Yanler tuh bawa kolam. Bawa kolam dia. Kalau mau yang standar ya bawa Petrify.
Yeah, Gatot and Phobius. What I saw was just both of them just like, you know, it's like the Bugs life. Both of them were just like jumping beetles on that back line. But they can't sustain just because like Matilda is right there and they have to tank through Sakai's, but not only Sakai's, you have to tank through Cram.
I do want to okay, that's a good point, but I do want to point out that these side laners didn't get affected too much by the mid lane trio, and I'm not saying that Yanlord is a bad player. I know you netizens already, pitchforks are already out, but this Gato pick was harassed from minute number 1 all the way to the end of the game. Yanlord could hardly make an impact in the first 7 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, one of the rule of thumb against Gato is what do you do when you face up against him? Don't let him punch you, right? And Matilda and Yves, plenty of magic damage. They're just tapping Gato. Yellow walks up, eats the Voice Crystal, eats the Soul Bloom, and it's just tough for him. And I agree. A lot of times he finds the engage. Now he has to deal with Sakai's. He has to deal with Cram. You got a literal hell demon on top of you. There really isn't anything you could do.
Honestly, I'm expecting that Yanlord will be doing okay against Cram because
apa yang spesial dari SRG dibandingkan dengan Todak? Banyak yang spesial. Todak juga spesial karena Todak itu langganan M series dari M1 sampai M4. Balik lagi kalau kita membahas apa yang membuat SRG spesial ya, gue bisa bilang ya. Secara organisasi mereka adalah organisasi yang besar karena SRG itu gak cuma di e-sport. Correct me if I'm wrong ya, cuman mereka juga di bola. Terus mereka habis juara nih buat MSC yang kemarin. Juara perdana opening dan menjadi orang kaya tajir mampus ya dari Mobile Legends sebagai Terus team fight-nya mereka juga spesial. Karena team fight-nya mereka itu team fight yang ya
control
rapi
the
aja gitu,
advantage.
kayak kelihatan
And I
chaos
think they
tapi
took
mereka
a little
rapi.
bit too much
Mereka
time
tahu
on that
konsep
top
juga.
side that ruined the rotations down into like maybe even the mid side or the jungle invades that they could have gotten. And I think that was one of
Masa
the main
iya
reasons for
3-0?
their downfall, and it just caused our SRG to just snowball their way through. And honestly though, it's 7-17 just because you can't take down two monsters running in front of you and with the help of a small little fairy.
I mean,
Small little
it comes
Yang
back full
buat
circle, right?
SRG jadi
Humes
tim
and Yellow were
bisa
seeing
dibilang
the-
langsung di
the
respect di
polar
semua
opposite. Humes having a hot game
semua region
after that
karena
win
mereka
over
juara
Red Spot.
MSC yang kemarin
Yellow
gitu
has
loh.
been struggling and it's again it's not
Dulu
entirely
juara
his fault.
MSC
Getting
dikala
cornered.
AP
See you
Brand
guys also
lagi
have a rough time.
kuat-kuatnya.
Saw a solo kill that led to a
AP Brand
secondary
tinggal
gank.
satu piala untuk
So many
menamatkan
things
Mobile
happening
Legends.
that isn't in favor of Todak.
Tidak jadi
They gotta have to sit down.
tamat
This is might be
kalah
their last
dari
game.
It really is,
SRG.
because right now SRG are
Baru gua
currently
nggak tahu
sitting
kapan.
at match
Masih
point. The
belum ada info, guys.
discussion needs to be valuable from Todak's
Semoga cepatnya ya.
side. They felt confident walking out of the hotel today, but this may have crushed a little bit of that confidence. We're going to be throwing it off to the off stage here, hosted by Pojin as well as Rose. Who's that? It looks like an SRG fan. Let's throw it over to them right now.
Selamat kembali ke MPL Offstage yang dibawa khas oleh Hotlink. Anda bersama dengan saya, Rose, Poji, and of course a fan daripada Selangor Red Giant. So, memperkenalkan diri awak kepada fans dengan audience yang tengah tengok live sekarang ni.
Okay, hi. Nama saya Ifat. Saya dari Selangor.
Cikgunya
Saya dari
si itu suka di depan
Dari
sendiri
sana
dia.
Tadi jalan sini.
Oh, okay, sama lah. Dari sana juga. Dari
Suka maju-maju sendiri terus
now,
mati-mati
Fad,
sendiri.
Rose nak tanya, sekarang 2-0. Technically, ini adalah best of one dah untuk Selangor Red Giants kan, betul. Satu lagi mata untuk dapatkan tiket ke Grand Finals dan juga ke M6. Berapa yakin, Fad, that actually Selangor Red Giants boleh menang 3-0?
Untuk best of one ni saya yakin akan jadi 3-0.
Region kita kok bisa tier 2? Gue bisa bilang kita tier 1
Macam
juga.
korang tahu SRG kan.
Sebenarnya tier 1, tier itu tergantung kalian menyikapi gimana ya.
Main terus.
Gini deh
Juara
anggapannya
dunia. Bila kita dah cakap pasal juara
kita ketemu
dunia,
mereka
Fad,
semua di
saya
Piala
nak tanya,
Champion.
menang
Kita itu
ke
mewakili
M6,
Liga
nak SRG,
Liga apa sih kita Spanyol kali ya?
siapa
Kita Liga
dekat
Spanyol
M6?
atau kita Liga
Okay,
Inggris.
so
Kita ngelawan Liga
macam kita tahu,
Inggris. Ini ada Liga Italia lah
Liquid
gitu-gitu
ada
lah.
RQ,
Ya,
Liquid.
soal siapa yang tier 1 ya
tapi,
tergantung kalian melihatnya gimana gitu. Setuju ya?
Onyx Philippines lah.
Onyx Philippines, boleh tak terangkan sikit
Bentar,
kenapa
guys,
nak
gua lagi
Selangor Red
tulis
Giants
di
jumpa Onyx Philippines? Sebab diorang tak pernah jumpa lagi dekat international stage.
Betul.
Sebab nak tengok King Kong lawan
Kita
Adik.
Liga Tarkam. Hey, gak bener ya.
I think actually ramai
Iya,
orang
Kak,
tengah
Kak.
tunggu match up Adik dengan King Kong. I really agree on that.
Tajam melawan tajam macam tu.
Yes. Okay, Fad. Maybe sebelum kita wrap up interview ni lah kan.
Malaysia
apa
bukannya juara
fact
ASEAN doang,
Fad
bukan
nak
juara
cakap
dunia.
kepada Selangor Red Giants, katakan
Malaysia,
semangat
dunia.
ke anything. Go on.
Soalnya di sana ada Cloud9,
Saya tak ada kata-kata untuk
EWC
SRG
guys ya
sebab,
MSC.
kita dah tahu kita akan pergi M6. Okay, so saya ada kata-kata untuk fans Todak. Ni last game. Walaupun korang kena 3-0 tapi supportlah tim korang
Membina.
And dia yakin boleh
All the
tutup
best.
3-0.
Bagus kata-katanya membina. Tapi sekarang ni Ros, kita tengok kan dekat sini kat kiri dan kanan. Sebab saya nampak kat sini dah semangat. Kat sana macam senyap sikit lah kan. Boleh tak kalau kita nak cheer sikit sini, cheer sana. Boleh tak? Kita nak bagi semangat sikit. Okay.
Alright.
SRG!
Todak.
Tak kuat.
Tak cukup?
Tak kuat.
Tak dengar.
Alright, Todak sekali lagi ya.
Gue cuma lihat MY, PH sama Indo.
Alright, cuba semua
Yang lain,
sekali. Satu.
ya kita nunggu.
dua,
Oh sama ini,
tiga.
sama Singapura. Kalau yang jauh-jauh kayaknya
Nice. Tapi sekarang
masih
Fad
butuh
lah,
waktu.
saya
BTK juga oke lah
datang
BTK lah.
daripada jauh ke sini. Takut tak semalam bila tengok kan ditabrak oleh Todak? Cuak tak?
Kita Liga EPL, Malaysia Liga Libertadores.
Tak cuak pun sebab
SRG itu singkatan dari daerah Selangor kan.
saja nak tengok
Selangor Red
macam
Giant. Ya
nak
Selangor ya
tengok-
benar. Dari Selangor.
sebab asyik menang je kan.
Bagi harapan lah, bagi
Malaysia
harapan.
belum. Udah pernah ke sana waktu M1.
Asyik menang, okey. Bosan menang macam tu.
Bosan menang
Tapi
sengaja
tak apa.
kalah ke Fad?
Belajar benda baru.
Wow. Alright, so first of all, terima kasih kepada Fat. And guys, mari kita throw it back to the game.
Orang-orangan MPL dia dipanggil M6 gak? Gak tahu. Orang-orangan. Gak tahu guys. Kalau panggilan-panggilan, talent-talent itu kita gak tahu gimana ceritanya. Selangor Giant. Red Selangor Giant. Semoga BTK sama Aurora satu grup. Wok. Gue cuma pengen lihat Mobile Zen ketemu dengan PH sih. Karena yang teringat yaitu adalah di M3, di mana Mobile Zen itu pakainya Saber, di respect langsung ada 4 Purify. Itu waktu ketemu dengan Blacklist. Dan kalau nggak salah mereka menang deh, sempat menang dari Blacklist ya. Turtle Mania, wah perkenalkan saya Wawa Mania. Ini guys ya, kalian bisa lihat sebenarnya kalau kalian orang statistik, kalian pasti tahu ini Sekis killnya di Turtle cuma 39. Berarti sebenarnya SRG ini mereka tim yang suka buat ngelepas Turtle-nya juga. Mereka bakal datang tim fight, coba buat tim fight dan lebih sering cari kepala berarti kalau ada di Turtle. Tapi kalau di Lord lihat nih catatannya ya, Sekis nomor 1 38 buat di Lord. Berarti mereka memang fokusnya buat tim fight di Lord. Kalau ada Lordnya dan kalian melihat di sana ada SRG yang lagi main, kemungkinan besar mereka bakal setup buat Lord. Zayed lihat, cuman di angka 23 guys. Tapi tolong diremaikan GIS, makasih. By the way guys, kita udah sampai di 110k. Thank you banget ya. Tahun ini adalah tahun dimana TikTok kita jadi 50k. TikTok udah pada follow belum TikTok? Subs kita sampai 100k. Amin. Instagram gua nih yang mati guys. Follow IG dong. 50k IG.
Moving on. Okay. M6, by the way, happening in Malaysia. Take the redeem code and get some in-game rewards, or scan the QR code to save yourself some time. But I don't know. Coming into M6, I feel like it is going to get very rowdy in the audience. If we've got artists like that, who knows once the rest of the world touch down?
I mean, the crowd has confirmed you can't eat swordfishes. That with red chili sauce. The Malay way. The Malay way.
The sweet chili
Or
one, right?
kecap manis.
No, ayam masak merah.
With
masak merah.
Is kecap manis a Malaysian thing too?
Yeah, it's like sweet sauce, right?
Yeah.
But kecap manis is Indonesian.
Is it? I don't know.
Hashtag dunk claim by Malaysia.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
don't really care. It's
Is
ours.
laksa Singaporean or Malaysian?
It's ours
Don't even start.
It is
Curry
ours now.
laksa.
Chicken rice, just chicken and rice.
You guys have
Who claims it first?
Peppery bakute.
We'll give you the island, the rest is ours.
Yeah, we'll let them win the small victories. We got the main landmass anyways. SRG now on blue side up against Todak on the red
Twitter
side.
ya, gue gak punya apa-apa anjir di
Going to
Twitter.
be coming through.
Kayaknya itu
It
cuma
looks
promo kalau gue lagi
straight
live stream.
in
Setahu
the
gue.
Jushin bands on Todak's
Isinya
side.
spam
So
semua, anjir.
Loki,
Gak jelas.
Phobius, and Yves responded by Todak. It's going to be Jushin, the Fanny, and Chip.
The one thing that Husky
Suyo.
has been asking for the entire day yesterday is to get the Juicin out, and now we get it. Juicin has been out for the longest time ever, except for probably one game, if I remember correctly.
Gue gak paham lagi sih
But
kasih-kasih
now, with the
si
Suyo
ini.
being picked up, nothing too out of the ordinary,
Si
but it's
Suyo.
more on the side. The ball is more on the court of Todak. With Gatukacha currently still available, and they played it in the previous game, it didn't really quite work out too well for them.
I have to agree here, and I think that Yenlord, I mean, he might just get thrown onto Gato one more time, but at least this time round, he doesn't have to worry about a couple of things. Number one, getting harassed out of his mind by this Yves. Number two, maybe the Matilda, it could go. I think it is a fair shout at the same time, but unless we see Todak have a hard read on that draft, oh my god, they're going to go for the hard read with the Valentina.
Yeah, it's a common thing for Todak, right? This draft is actually, if they put the draft recap for game number 1, basically SRG's draft
Warga
is saying
Twitter
they
anomali.
want to prioritize the Suyo or the Juicin, but in game number 1 they opened up the Juicin instead, and then they pick up the they pick up the Juicin. So that's pretty much wide open.
Dude, that's so
the
personal.
text again.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that.
It means that my wife is pregnant, but she came here for Todak.
Hey, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Dude, that's
Come on
crazy.
down, Edu City Sports Complex, man.
Hey, M6 comes by and it's just like
Hylos Vexan. Guys, dari 3 pick awal guys, gua udah bilang ini SRG. Kemungkinan SRG bakal main.
It's a horrible idea.
Your name, what, your kid 1-1?
Sure.
1-1.
I'm gonna digress. I'm gonna digress a quick bit, right? There was someone that actually went to labor while waiting for a J-Show concert.
Are you serious?
Yeah, in Malaysia.
Yeah, so what I'm looking out for
Bukan
is
masalah standar Twitter, standar TikTok. Masalah ke ini sih sebenarnya dari kita sendiri gitu loh. Karena kita kan mungkin ya bukan dibilang negara berkembang lagi sih sebenarnya. Pendidikan juga udah punya ya. Cuman itu selalu mencari validasi dari medsos-medsos, tau gak? Ya, oh iya ya dia kayak gini ya, ternyata bisa begini ya gitu. Kebanyakan main medsos itu membunuh kalian semua sebenarnya. Kalian harus pintar-pintar memilih gitu loh, mana yang bisa kalian tonton. Dan masalahnya yang ngelihat itu biasanya yang umurnya di bawah 17 tahun, yang otaknya masih dalam masa-masa berkembang. Karena orangnya butuh validasi, dikasih makan terus-terusan kayak begitu jadi kacau lah negeri kita.
Similar bans as they did before, right? Always get rid of the Lunox. Irithel is a lot more punishable, and I think that Jiku guys really needs to step
Todak
up.
bukan main yang ngaco, udah kebawa tempo.
Just team fighting, but specifically laning.
Yeah. I think right now.
Terus nanti yang disalahin siapa? Yang disalahin orang tuanya karena tidak mengawasi anaknya. Sebenarnya kita sebagai content creator juga punya tanggung jawab untuk mendidik gitu loh. Cuman ya tergantung. Ya balik lagi sih, bukan urusan kita gitu kan. Hyper Alucard, wow. Banyak yang suka mencerna mentah-mentah. Kayak clipping-clipping dikit kan diambil. Oh dia langsung gini, wah langsung ngejudge bla 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 bla. Padahal ya. Pokoknya kadang-terkadang itu diem itu adalah sebuah pilihan juga meskipun yang nggak terlalu bijak sih sebenarnya. Kadang-kadang diam itu ada pilihan yang bagus. It really bad. Nathan big bad. Irithel. Irithel bang, mau bang Irithel bang. Tapi kalau kiri ambil Harit ya. Coba guys, gawat guys. Dia membeli kuasa Indonesia di mana? Di Turki.
But what else could we possibly look at?
I think I go for the marksman first. Yeah, like the Beatrix will work out well. I think in the first game, Jiku guys.
100%. Gua 3 pick awal SRG sih. Gua SRG guys.
The same sort of like standard draft that they have right now, but the only difference is SRG doesn't have the juice in. So
wow.
Instead, they like to prove us wrong.
Antara
I guess it's not the word. I think we saw Moscow like once
Harit
today.
Yeah.
Indonesia di ban tuh Harit.
I feel like the fact that this Gatot can still be flexed, I think that's kind of the intention.
Harit Khalid gak sih? Kalau Harit sama Khalid,
the state of Yanlo, right? What is he feeling? Because I think it has been quite tough for him as an individual today, right? Being one of the youngest players on the team. What is he gonna feel good at trying to get them back into game 3?
Maybe a Hilda? Pick up a Hilda for the side.
Lagi di mana Kel?
Very well. Super aggressive in the early game, especially with the Nolan on hand.
They can go for the Hilda, but I think we need to see what the full composition is first, because as much as I want to lean into the Hilda, at the same time, they could easily just like pick up the Khalid, right? I mean, it hasn't been touched throughout, and we are seeing Claude getting picked up, big chunkers to make sure that Suyo works.
Wow, Hilda.
Yeah, they're trying to deny the Hilda going in the hands of Todak. It's either the Hilda or the Khalid.
Wah, Todaknya jadi susah gerak nih.
Hilda and Khalid are sort of like
Moskovnya bisa dikunci. Nolannya bisa dikunci. Mau nggak mau nih, mau siapa? Ruby itu. Ruby sayap. Ruby sayap bang. Selesai. Lanjut gak sih Kel? Gak cuma Nolan ya, Moskov juga tuh. Hildanya paling cuma bisa didorong ke belakang. Datang lagi dia. Atau Cici, tiba-tiba dia buka Cici guys.
We've seen this yesterday too.
La 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 la.
I mean, Momo wants to go for lane dominance. He doesn't mind if it's high loss or if it is Hilda. It's most likely going to be Hilda in the EXP because she is able to affect one side of the map rather than having to play in the first 2 minutes where you take more damage in the enemy jungle. With that being said, though, Churros, give me a rundown. What is the rundown of the compositions?
Putting me in a spot because this is really a 50-50 draft. It really reminds me of the Filipino kind of meta that they really use, but I know the aggression coming out from both these teams, and it's the Malaysian flavor coming to play. So expect a lot of fights coming in from Todak. Give a lot of distance for Chiku guys to try to get that backdoor opportunity, and I want to see how he utilizes that Moss Hub to do that.
Personally, for me, I feel like right now both drafts are screaming win lane, win game, as it's currently match point for the Selangor Red Giants. They might just be able to book a free ticket to M6 here.
Kalian mau tahu nggak kenapa ada Cici?
Good luck to both of our teams, and we're hoping that Todak
Kalau
fight we're waiting for.
Hylos EXP Cicinya bagus. Kalau Hilda EXP Cicinya jelek, yuk kita lihat yuk. Mampus yuk, Hilda EXP.
If you're ready to write a somber ending to this tale, better hold your breath. Todak needs to bring it back.
The 5 appearances in the international series is now at stake. For the Swordfishes,
banyak doa dah.
this is definitely gonna be a
Ambil ke kantung ya hari ya guys ya. Ini Todak bener-bener beda mainnya dari yang kemarin. Jauh.
Ooh, lethal ignition coming out from Stormy this time. Looks like he wants to guarantee the burst. Nothing too out of the ordinary. I'm not seeing Master Assassin coming out from Chiku guys this time round. Looks like he's kind of learned his lesson.
It is still a brave smite onto Zyme Senpoi as a Venetina still. It's still kind of boggles my mind a little bit onto the main idea behind it, all of that. I mean, if they want to play a full dive and he wants to survive, then it will make sense.
Oh my goodness, there's so much damage.
Dude. I don't know. I feel like if Sakai's just tap the Soul Sever instead of going for the Immortal Form version of it, they might have been able to force a recall. If not, at least guarantee Yanlord to drop his Revitalize.
I agree, especially when you have Impure Rage. In the pocket on the Blazers, but look at Cram, right?
Coba katakan kalau kalian jadi Cici guys ya, gimana menang dari Hilda?
But still early priority given to the Hilda.
Honestly, I think this matchup is a lot harder than people.
Gak bisa, kecuali Cici unggul 1 item. War X terus Hilda aja gak jadi apa-apa itu bisa. Kayak gini ya sampai besok coy, dia cuma datang lihat, dicolek dikit, ada shield ya kan, ngambil lagi tuh. Penuhin lagi farming ya udah. Nalun.
That's vengeance.
A feint
from the guy.
Dipancing ya, dikeluarkan vengeance sebelum tim fight di turtle.
Okay, so we were talking about the Hilda as well.
Whoa.
Yanlord in the midst of things, revitalized use, keeping the team of Slugeyes or team of SRG alive. They drop down the big bad mini lord. First blood, SRG. I just told out late to respond. I am surprised they wanted to go for that because now they're gonna lose Momo.
Why?
Gak susah guys, serius guys. Cici tuh bukan opsi bagus. Gue tahu sih jalan pikirannya Todak. Gue tahu tuh kenapa mereka mau Cici.
Yeah, I mean they were already late. None of them were hitting the level force on time anyway. So why still contest for it, especially when you're up against a Suyo anyways? It feels uncanny from Todak's side, but I hope that they get their mental together right now. They need to start making smarter decisions across the map and specifically towards Chiku guys' side of the map. Because again, Momo, it's up to him. He needs to hold on to that lane, but Chiku guys
masih ada harapan nggak sih? Tipis gitu, tipis loh.
Early game kind of thing just gonna fill their head, right? They're just looking straight ahead.
Mati lagi tuh ya, udah nggak bisa kabur guys. Gak sempet lompat loh, ada ulti padahal.
It does, and the worst part about Yanlord, he hit level 4, he wants to use the AOG, but he's consistently getting cancelled by Cram. There is a bit of a channel time, and Cram does have mini stuns.
And Cram is back to outside.
Are you having fun? Are you having fun, Momo? Look, I lost 0 EXP, by the way. 0.
The amount of mobility that the Hilda is able to bring to the game, and sometimes, and not sometimes, but in
itu gue suka sih yang Red ya.
We did definitely see that.
Cici memang bisa ninggalin dia. Cicinya nanti ini bakal bagus kalau di team fight. Bukan di laning ya, karena laning lawannya ketemu sama Hilda. Mohon maaf nih, Cici lawan Hilda, Cici lawan Xbox. Itu susah.
We talk about him
being right now. Waduh.
It seems like this pillar is about to fall
again,
split in half. claim by Sakai. Zayat shows up. Spirit Destruction misses, so no opportunity. He will try.
Wah, retreat, ada retreat.
Zayat now will have to retreat.
Yep, and there's no need to chase. Cram needs to ensure that the damage put on Momo.
Nah, tadi Gatotnya tadi waktu dia mau ulti kena stun terus-terusan. Kedorong-dorong, kena Yums terus kedorong-dorong sama Hilda kan. Ya, mungkin sisi plusnya Innocent bisa mati.
I mean, what was Todak expecting with that gank? It's a good attempt, I suppose.
Honestly, looking at how Todak has been trying to go on it aggressive
sangat rugi
against
sekali.
SRG, while SRG is doing it aggressive nicely. Oh, hold on a second. Yen Lord.
You get a purple buff at least, lads. I got it, but Yen Lord gets sacrificed. Just not having fun. How do you play the game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the flag of Todak on the and the top of this castle is halfway down the mast now.
It's not really not looking good here. It really isn't. Innocent not having to utilize his Purify at all. Like, Todak has lost every trade in this game thus far. Maybe Momo will be able to get a tier 1 up top side, and I think that's just the generosity of SRG.
I don't think he'll get it because Cram is beelining back
Main
top.
lato-lato.
Under 5 minutes, mid
Nggak
tier
bisa,
1 of Todak
udah
has
habis
been
guys ini.
basically destroyed, reduced to rubble.
Bener-bener kemakan, gameplaynya udah habis
Type
banget.
of game where you don't even need a T-Goal in order to implode.
Anjir, besok gue solo cast anjir.
At every single move
Ngeri banget tuh solo cast tuh besok gimana nasib nih. Besok saya mau ke di Bekasi. Ada yang tinggal di Bekasi nggak? Yang Valley Nasa dekat mana sih Valley Nasa?
I mean, I guess if you want to look for one way to break a single player,
Ejam bukan terejam lagi nih, nyungsep masuk selokan guys. Kalah level. Bekasi luas ya, oh gitu. Gue nggak tahu nih. Ini yang kedua kalinya nih mau ke Bekasi nih, mohon bantuannya.
Starting to get really brutal, and unless Todak is able to make some hard reads on SRG, it's starting to look worse yet, pretty grim.
There's definitely some possibility for these reads, right? Especially since the middle lane T1 is down. Todak definitely can be for sure.
Di Valley Nasa, di mana tuh Valley Nasa?
Yellow will get away. They want the purple for Zai, and Zai will commit everything. Clean retribution. Momo will find a retreat. Well, essentially witnessing Todak going up against the strongest version of SRG. Yellow will come to save him. Still gets hit by Quell the Evo. The time will only delay his death. Innocent claims it, but he wants more than just one. Yellow wants more. He wants to save the president.
Itu Suyo. Kalau darah kalian tipis ya tinggal di.
They're going to have to play the rest of the map here. As much as Todak needs to sacrifice
Di
members
Valley.
to get presence. Top side tier 1 is first to fall as Zion Senpai clears out that mid wave.
M6 Malaysia jadi tuan rumah. Benefit atau keuntungannya tuan rumah apa? Dekat. Udah paham lapangan, paham dengan cuaca, paham dengan makanan, paham dengan kondisi internet yang berlaku di sekitar.
You gotta have to give Chiku guys that depth, right? Yen Lord going in is just gonna make that value trade from the top lane T1 going down kind of plateau.
I mean, we kind of set up this grand finals, two dynasties colliding, right? The current one and one that is on the way to rebuild, the restoration, the resurrection. However one you want to put it, but it might be unfulfilled if this continues. We're looking at a 4K gold lead.
Wow.
The damage dealt ranking.
Nggak tahu gue kenapa mereka suka ngelepas Suyo. Suyo itu hero paling haram anjir kalau mau dilepas.
I mean, they can try, but the rundown though, they got Flicker out of sight.
I think you just keep running at him. Todak out of the element at this point.
They don't have control into the jungle. They don't have control over anything. With all of these waves just crashing right in, SRG would just want to face first onto Todak.
Good try from you to try to
slow Malaysia fama sama RSG,
minor
SRG
committed, but you look at the level difference. Zai is 2 levels behind Sakai's.
Yeah, but honestly, they just need to stop
di
guys
sana.
from farming.
Besok nge-cash di sana anjir. Boleh ada penonton nggak ya? Gue nggak tahu ada penonton atau enggak. Kalau tiba-tiba merias, wah, kecolek. Dah kecolek. Mati namanya tuh. Vengeance sudah nggak ada. Lah.
And they still lost Momo because Sakai's wants the killing blow. Yanlord widow down, just back in. He is dead. Double kill going over Sakai's, and that's the solo kill right there. Cram cleans Chiku guys in half. And
Udah gak ada
SRG
win udah habis.
continue to gas.
Win con mereka split push Chico.
Oh my goodness, this is unplayable. This is unplayable.
Oh my god.
10-0.
Minutes and 40 seconds holding
guys,
defense gone.
Yeah, and Chico guys getting solo killed by Cram as well. This is unplayable for Todak. I think this, I'm gonna call it early. This is pretty much it unless we see a god play coming out from Todak or Selangor Red Giants really mess up this game.
Honestly, the god play here, what could it
Wah, gak ada rasanya, anjir. Coba lu lihat tuh tadi tuh.
The only thing that it would be a saving grace is Chico guys somehow manages to slip through the gaps of SRG, have some macro game and just
Besok jam berapa? Ntar deh gue bilangin deh.
There's no gap now, right? All out of the turrets are down. You got a Hilda running around, you got a Suyo running around, you got a Lord coming in. Holy defense popped, I believe, on the bottom inhibitor.
SRG.
I don't know where you go if you're
SRG.
honestly.
You just pray that you get Trinity and you pray that a huge combo like a 5-man
boleh ada penonton nggak pertanyaannya? Kayaknya nggak boleh ada penonton internal kayaknya
down. Plus maybe Zaya getting some damage on specifically Innocent and Stormy and Sakai's who all happen to be standing on top of each other. I think that's like literally the only way they can actually get out of this and allow Chiku guys to try and clutch it.
Really, that means just playing into the mistakes of SRG.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, talk about mistakes. We ain't seen one just yet this game.
Can they do this? How can they set up this scenario? I mean, Lord is already pushing down. They're guaranteed to at least get one inhibitor.
Emang di YouTube biasanya.
Yeah, they're guaranteed for sure.
Sekolah, antar sekolah gitu.
I mean, Todak is not
Aku
strong enough
sekolahan
to
ya.
deal with the Lord.
They don't even have a very good wave of wave clear.
Ada yang lebar, ada yang pilih aja mau yang mana bebas.
Biar
Biar meriah aja. Wah, kacau guys, kacau tuh.
Yeah, Lord gets
Gila,
away.
itu
Todak
kayak gitu
holds on
mah
just for a
ngeri
bit.
ya.
Spear of Destruction lands, but there's no angle to take it. Sam
Sam
will
Boy.
try. Put it down the members of SRG, but Sakai just quells the evil again. So sever. SRG disengaged, but again,
nggak tahu hujan nggak
to
sih?
10k goal advantage with an
Di sini saya adalah orang yang paling tidak paham
Even
kalau ada
SRG
hujan atau
making
tidak
sure
ada
that they
hujan.
are taking away the purple buff, but leaving the small camp, so you will never see that being taken by Zayed. He is purple buffless, 3 levels down onto Sakai's. Basically impossible to contest for these objectives. They have to play for fights, and Chiku guys literally just got the golden staff at the 11th minute.
Not to forget
Indonesia sering kalah di sesi ban, bukan kalah. Mungkin ada hasil di scrim yang kita tidak tahu apa, yang nggak cocok dengan gameplay mereka. Ini bandnya agak aneh gitu, kan band template yang kalian bayangkan juga bukannya.
Innocent, he was able to get a Winter Crown purchase for himself, so they could look to bait out Todak into an unwinnable fight here. Goes in blazing, tries to go for a blazing duet, goes into that Winter Crown as the OG comes, and then lets Selangor Red Giants kind of wash the rest out.
Chico guys also did manage to pick up his Trinity, by the way. I think about a minute ago with that golden staff, so at least there is that conditions unlocked as per Gideon mentioned. So now is more onto the side of Selangor Red Giants. They need to make a very forceful push, a very desperate attempt, and try to win it down mid, only to find themselves absolutely shattered by Todak.
Apa iya guys, one final push setelah enhance lore-nya diambil dengan Selangor Red Giants. Stormy nggak mati. Ini belum ada yang tumbang ya, belum ada yang mati coy SRG.
It's 12 minutes into the game. It's basically unplayable.
Mungkin malah yang main bukan. Ini kayak format kita yang lama. Format kita yang lama.
Clutching the upcoming fight on this next Lord push.
Oh my god, Stormy.
That's the block.
Great body block.
Imagine if he steals it.
I mean, it could have been a universe that happens, but not this one. This one is within the graphs of SRG.
Hey, look.
Di M6 seru kan. Gue tuh paling suka turnamen internasional. Gini, pertanyaan buat kalian semua nih ya. Hero apa yang cuman muncul di turnamen internasional? Sebutkan satu hero. Sebutkan satu hero yang cuman muncul di turnamen internasional.
Here comes mid push inhibitor. Not clear out just yet.
Cuma regional ada, Yves regional ada, Nana regional ada, Yusunci regional ada. Ada satu hero yang cuma muncul di region internasional. Estes ada regional, Layla regional ada, Valen ada regional, Mia ada regional. Iya sekolah. Tabor ada di regional. Sebutkan satu hero, ada yang tahu nggak? Saya tunggu ya sampai pecah nih, sampai pecah ini turretnya nih. Belerik regional ada, Bejir boleh datang nggak? Nah, makanya gue nggak tahu, kayaknya nggak boleh deh. Layla boleh, Layla boleh. Layla setauku di internasional di GOF kemarin. Masya regional ada di PH. Karena banyak di regional. Lilia kemarin udah dibuka kemarin regional deh. Leomard ini ada regional emoy. Internasional only dia muncul. Satu hero yang cuman muncul di internasional. Dari tahun ini aja deh kita bicara tahun ini deh. Jadi di tahun ini dia cuma muncul di internasional, di regional kita gak ada, di regional PH kalau nggak ada.
Todak, they will get the 42k mark. They should be able to handle SRG, but I think that even SRG understand that it's pretty difficult to high ground defense against a Moskov, especially when you're trying to go for the crystal, and a majority of your heroes are melee.
One of the other things that perhaps I will be
Badang kalau sama region Indo yes, dia cuma di internasional. Nah, Singapura yang bawa kan. Yin ada di regionalnya kita. Leslie ada kok di regional Leslie. Popol Kufa gak tuh. Odet ya, Odet itu PH yang membawa ini.
Well, to be fair, we did see how they defended the last time, right? They sent
Jangan dong Rio.
First initially, and then Momo kind of snuck his way out. Once they found that
Kalian
separation,
sih
that's
masa
when
sih
we
gak
saw
paham
Momo
sih.
go for the all-in towards Stormy's side. And I think they have to kind of simulate that situation time and time again. They expect Innocent to jump their backline, and I think that Todak must be prepared for.
Glue ini dipakai ini Glue-nya di ban terus tadi. Tadi sempat keluar juga
As
kan.
well as Stormy with his ult, then we've got a game.
That's a tall order, right? That's an absolute tall order.
La.
Get this Lord, I think chances will go up. But it also comes down to whether they can keep even.
Ayo cong banyak mah regional
If they
kalian
lose
mah.
all inhibitors, I think we go back to square one for Todak.
Cyclops siapa yang pakai ya di internasional ya?
I think hope is there.
Yeah, I mean based on the pattern, right? The second Lord push did take down half of the HP
Bukan
of the
hero
inhibitor
baru.
turrets. So understandably, this upcoming Lord will take down the entirety of this.
Argus ya,
inhibitor.
Argus.
The question is if whether they can even end the game.
Yeah.
Argus kayaknya belum keluar dari
Max
internasional
build
deh.
for Chiku, guys. He's ready to fight. He's got the winds of nature as well. Everybody else a little bit on the poor side, but they're catching up
Todak
pretty
bakal
quickly.
expect lah SRG pasti udah
Situational
perbaiki
items, the
diri.
people who are eating really
Veil.
little is going to be Momo as
Nggak
well
juga sih
as
kalau Veil.
Yandlord trying to be
Veil ada ya di EWC kemarin ada nggak Veil?
All four of the half builds onto the side of Yen Lord.
It's all about the inhibitors, right?
Ini namanya
Start
Cyclops
this
Zane.
step by step. It might be a heartbreak coming in for Todak. So guys,
Gus.
finds the engage.
Ada ya, ada Cyclops ya di
What
EWC
is
ya?
Todak's move? AOG from Yalon. Hits on the two. Momo
Selesai guys ini guys.
Momo's already dead. They get rid of Zion. Crab still alive.
Wah
Innocent
gile,
goes
udah
for the
selesai.
crystal.
Tamat. Congratulations.
Have fulfilled that dynasty on the ruins of Todak. The
Congratulations.
immortality yet to be
SRG goes to M6.
defend the title.
Bye Todak. Ini guys gue bilang namanya Amon. International only. Gak mau regional.
Heartbreak for the Todak fans. They worked so hard to get to this moment. One step away from M6 and they just fall short.
Congratulations
The
SRG.
fans rejoice as Salerno
Turun keluar
Red Giants
menang ternyata.
book the final slot to M6 and right the wrongs of the playoffs. GG, well played to both of our competitors.
We'll never see this storyline ever again. It ends right here. There's no epilogue. Only heartbreak.
All right, we're throwing it over to the
Amon
winners
ya.
interview. Rose, take it away.
SRG goes to Bekasi.
Pasukan kedua yang dapat mewakili Malaysia di
Ya besok grand final, cuman gue gak nonton cuma
that
besok.
will also be
Itu ada
held
kerjaan, guys.
in Malaysia. Edu City, ini adalah defending champions anda. Ini adalah MS FC champions Anda. Give it up for Selangor Red Giants. Guys, congratulations, amazing game. I rasa kita boleh start dengan Stormy dulu.
Amon.
Alright, Stormy. Congratulations.
Kamu cari tuh bongkar-bongkar region PH, region Malaysia, region Indonesia gak ada tuh. Tapi kalau internasional ada tuh yang pakai.
Korang decide to discuss back home and macam mana korang bangkit macam ni. Dua-dua perlawanan yang clean sweep di lower bracket.
I think credit
Emang keras pasti lawannya. Gak ada lawan yang mudah di internasional.
So full credits to
Mereka bisa sampai di stage sana berarti membuktikan mereka yang terbaik kan dari regionnya mereka. Jadi ya kalau bisa sih kita jangan meremehkan dan cuma berkaca dengan beberapa region aja. Tapi semua region itu wajib buat dilihat.
Kita ada banyak lagi competitiveness in the scene.
Emang hero internasional seperti itu men. Hero goes to
Okay, maybe
international.
Becky can answer that. Was it a wake-up call for you guys, honestly?
Honestly, like what we say,
Harusnya Indo.
preparation is very important. And then
Region yang
MPL
sekarang
Malaysia
ya.
is really, really strong. So we were very fortunate to have this lower bracket. And then sayang Todak actually did not make it to M6 because their best friend RQ is there. Actually, it's kind of sayang. So thank you Todak also play a very, very, very strong game in the upper bracket. They tell us that we still have a lot of weakness in our meta. That's why last day we really, really spent many, many hours. We did not sleep properly actually. Akada was discussing until like late 4 AM, stuff like that.
Rafian lawan Sekis.
Yeah.
Bisa.
Alright, kita boleh nampak hasil hard work mereka pada semalam. Tapi
Bestinya hilang, Cok. Gak ada bestie kita.
Perlawanan macam ni, perlawanan gempa. And of course, orang akan mewakili Malaysia ke M6. Tapi
Kalau ada Moon, ada Veil.
Siapa yang
Udah lewat masa gak
MVP?
sih? Apa MVP-nya?
Mari kita tengok MVP perlawanan ini. In 3, 2, 1. MVP jatuh kepada Skies.
Umur 18 tahun.
Adik,
Guys, dia umur 18 tahun udah dapetin duit banyak banget tuh dari EWC.
Adik adalah
Misi kalian apa kalau misi kalian? Itu minim ada orang berapa miliar ya kayaknya.
with this title, mesti ada pressure banyak. So, macam mana adik nak
Artinya
adapt
bestinya
dengan
liquid, beda
pressure
dong.
ni to make sure that Selangor Red Giants boleh clinch back-to-back
Kayaknya lebih
trophy
susah
korang
sih.
esok.
Masih SRG
And of
lah
course,
juara lah.
buat yang terbaik untuk Malaysia dekat M6.
Actually, my teammates helped me a lot. Especially it's come to coaching staff, Becky, Akadia, Jason. Actually, yesterday I was really feel struggle lah, and I feel so bad. And they cheer me up, and yeah, today I'm back.
Alright, kita dah boleh nampak adik yang sebenar. Okay, maybe one bonus question lah kan. Now, kita tahu actually selepas MSC, korang punya schedule memang back to back. Memang packed. Lepas MPL pula, korang ada satu lagi international tournament mana korang akan bawa line up yang beza daripada M6. Now, how ready are you guys for M6 actually with this lineup? Kurang preparation or are you guys just really, really prepared?
Actually, I think we just follow the flow, I think. We just give our best and let's see the result.
Alright, terima kasih. Maybe we can pass the mic to Coach Ark. Coach, your players, everybody is saying it was because of your hard work that you guys managed to clinch the last M6 ticket. Now, Coach, as the head of this team, what is your promise to the Malaysian audience when you guys are representing Malaysia in M6?
First of all, I just want to give props to all of these hardworking guys. They really gave everything all out this season. We really had a lot of challenges, but we were still able to make it to M6, and we're really happy. And the one thing that I can promise you, everyone who's watching, is that we're gonna give our best representing MPL MY going to the M6.
Woo!
That's something that we will assure of. And yeah, thank you guys. Thank you again for supporting us. Hopefully we get the back-to-back
Kenapa ngambil
championship
Cici?
tomorrow.
Ya. Gak tau aja kalian. Buat lawan si ini. Buat menagih Hylos.
Guys wants the mic back. Dia cakap dia nak cakap something kepada Todak.
Ternyata gak dapet juga dia.
Depan sikit adik.
Lu pengen lawan Hylos nih ya pakai Cici ya buat menangin
Dorang tengah
team fight-nya.
discuss.
Cuman Cicinya dibully
Dorang
gila.
tengah discuss. Sabar.
Ya bisa apa akhirnya kan?
Oh, jangan nak cakap dekat mic.
Ya akhirnya minus gitu, udah gak bisa kemana-mana.
Actually semalam time saya MVP camp tu saya ada buat sign macam ni. Actually that's me in reverse sweep and it's not for yesterday but it's for today lah actually.
Alright guys, Edu City, give it up for your second M6 representative, Selangor Red Giants. Hari Sabtu yang penuh dengan kejutan. Kita akan saksikan esok whether Selangor Red Giants boleh dapat golden road mereka ataupun Vamos will emerge on top. But before our long-awaited grand
Diculik
finals,
kemana tuh dia?
mari kita dengar mic check
Coba
daripada
kita dengar mic
side
checknya, guys.
Todak dan juga Selangor Red Giants.
Depan dulu. Tengok ako. No bite. Ako aman.
Simi agak. Position.
Tengok yung.
Tiago.
Tengok yung. On the way.
Simi.
Be ya.
Sini, stop.
Oh, dapat.
No one.
Atas
Yuk mati lah.
Soyu. Nice one, Sen.
Aman.
Balas Soyu ah. Nice. I solo lot.
Di-prosen. Be.
Kami ya. I tahu. Simi.
Be. Mati. Boleh.
Simi.
Boleh. Tahu. Guys, careful guys. Wait for me.
Tawuran gak?
I can kill me, don't worry.
Mampus kau Ceko.
Waduh.
Push up guys.
Gigi tak ada figure guys. Nak? Boleh?
Boleh do him tu. Bagus Ji.
Boleh Aif.
Dapat. Tahu mati.
Ya, aku
dah.
Nice. Nice recovery dok.
Obis guys, no bligger ah. Dia cannot initiate ah. Tengok.
Oh dia dua-duanya ya.
Obis.
Just start love us.
Joy here, I think.
Hero. Gatot, box.
Box ah.
Hero. Depan.
Hati. Nice.
Balik. Mati.
Lah.
Aman.
Ayo T.
Nice one. Go. Nak ni.
Aman.
We can
Pull. Ya boleh Cici. Santai. Cici. Mati. Lo.
No, nice one. Nice ball.
Moskop. Ultim. Cici.
Siapa sih yang paling berisik?
Himi sulti. Hatang.
Dive. Gatot. Manis aman. Tengok me dive sama.
Oh kram paling berisik.
Dive. Mamam. Baca.
Mamam.
Ya Allah, tolonglah Cik dapat tombak. Cik, let's go Cik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Allah.
Dia dah buat Cik.
Okey, Cik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim balik.
Itu kan udah dibilang rosternya udah diumumin.
Banyak lagi.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Aman.
Aku ready kau ni.
Cici nulti, aman. Gatot nulti. Balik.
Five.
Tahu.
Bye.
What a way to end the series.
Terima kasih guys buat watch partinya.
A 3-0
That's it. Kita udah end buat malam ini ya. 3 match, cuman kita watch party 2 aja ya yang mengamankan tiket. Thanks for watching. Seperti biasa jangan lupa buat di subs dulu. Terus di follow medsosnya Wawa ya. Sampai jumpa besok di acara yang lain.